Alright, you fools. How we doing? I know it's dark in here. Welcome in. Um, First of all, how do I sound relative to the music? Does the music need to be turned down more? Turning it down anyway. Cause like I can talk into this mic, but there's like some variability to the. There's some variability here. Let's just put it that way. Nah, okay. Also, welcome in Deez, Parse, McFiston. I'm sorry I didn't see your link earlier, Deez. I am gonna save that though for next time, if you're fine with me playing it next time. Where are the plants? They're outside. I'm about to switch over. So... Thanks for the lurk, by the way. How you doing, Young? Welcome in. Okay. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna switch over to the outside camera, Lurker Zone 4. Well, keep in mind, once we do Lurker Zone 4, it'll be all over the place. Do you really want Lurker Zone 4, Parse? I could do Lurker Zone 4, it'll just be over right there. I said what I said? Alright, alright. There he goes. Alright, cool. So, that's the outside setup. I'm gonna explain once I get there. I'm just gonna grab my my tea and then pop on over, okay? Alrighty. Hello, hello. So, here, let me... Find me in 3 days. I just need to set up my chat so I'll be able to see. But, so today we're gonna... I'll catch up with chat in just a second. Oh, crap. I think I put too much. It's fine. You know what? It's fine. We're gonna do a bunch of plant chores. We are gonna have a helper. Carlos? You wanna come say hi? Yeah. Okay. Let me get chat up. I thought I had chat up, but apparently I didn't. And now Discord is updating too. Ah! Okay, so, what I'm gonna be doing is I have, here, let me show you. So I have a bunch of these plants that need to be, they're in various stages of rehab. Some of them are just like cuttings that I needed to have moved to soil, like way before this. So we're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be fixing them. We're gonna be watering the rest of my plants. That's just a normal chore. Nothing crazy there. You've seen me do it before. Let me just grab the chat link and see why the brightness on this thing is abmissal. Abmissal? Is that why you say that? Seems weird. Then get chat up. So I can't actually see where chat is. There you go. Alright. While that's loading, I'm just gonna grab one more thing from inside. Okay. Hey, people, Sido. Welcome in. Oh. What a stinker. Alright. Oh, and that's right. That's right. That's what I came in for. Get this, some scissors. And then the other thing we'll be doing is I have some cuttings here that I'll be, like, you know, they don't have any roots yet, so we're gonna put them, you know, we're gonna set them up so that they can start growing some roots. That's the other thing we're gonna do. Probably put them in some moss or something like that. I have some cups and, oh, that's the other thing I need to grab. Oops. Whoopsies. Okay. So how's everyone's Sunday been? Just bringing up... Okay, I see chat now. Pretty sure. But I want to be able to see... Make sure I don't miss anything. Well, I think I have chat. Wait, can someone... Wait. Test. Okay, yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. So, so I got some extra pots. I rinsed them out because they were full of pollen. The pollen has been absolutely garbage. There's just so much pollen everywhere. So that's annoying. These guys, actually I'm not sure whether I should water them first and then try to take them out. I think I should maybe do that. So let's do that first real quick. Just like water them so that the moss will be easier to pick off. Some of these have been overdue for being put into their own pots, but it is what it is. It's the winter. You can't really do stuff over the winter, you know. I've still been using my like the bottles of liquor or whatever. And they're just really useful. So I just figured I'll just keep using them. Is that boba tea? Yes, that is boba tea. I made some boba tea real quick before I started. That's why I was late. I think I put a little too much. I put a little too much creamer in it this time. It is what it is, though. And with these guys, so whenever I put plants in like little cups like this, it's actually like a really foolproof way of like keeping cuttings because it doesn't dry out. You know what I mean? Or it dries out way slower. And it lets your plants like get a bunch of good roots down in the bottom, you know? And it actually also lets you see the roots as they're growing, because what roots will do is that they'll come around to the outside of the cup, and they'll like circle around. That's how they grow. That's a good way to check on like your cuttings and seeing how well they're doing, and if they need to be like, you know, if any rot needs to be trimmed off or anything like that. I already had trimmed, so these guys, so I got these cuttings recently, from a couple friends. And I had just like dumped them in water, in a water cup basically, until I was ready to plant them. So right before, I should have done this maybe on screen, but I snipped off a bit of like, where it was kind of slimy, you know? But that's normal. Okay. So these are watered, or they're like, they're moistening up. Moistening. So we'll put them over here in the back. This is another rehab plant that I need to completely start over on. It looks like it's dead. Some of it is, but a lot of it is not. And I'm pretty sure that I can save and do what's called a prop and chop, like chop and prop, like chop it, you know, save the parts that I can, so that I'll end up with a bunch of new plants, like a bunch of new plants. So you know, we'll do that as well. But before I do that, I'll start with like watering the regular plants and go from there. What's happening? We're doing some plant chores, Sophie. Welcome in. I'm gonna start with watering most of my plants over here, back here. And then we'll get into, I have some plant cuttings that I need to put into some sort of situation. And then, there's a sad plant back here that needs some rehabbing. And then that's about it. But we'll start with watering the plants, though. When's the rehab? Hey, Dr. the Man. The rehab comes after the watering. Oh man, look at that fat, look at this fat root, dude. Holy shit. Hold on. So, a couple weeks ago, we put this plant from a smaller pot into a bigger one, and like, look at this fat root coming out of the bottom. Holy shit. It means it's happy. That's a good sign. That's a really good sign. Thick, yeah, I know, right? That's really good. Oh, I hope I don't break it. Oh, okay. That's a good sign. They don't always come out of the bottom like that, but when they do, it's nice. So, okay, that goes in there. What else? This. My little rude boy. This snake plant. We'll do another round. Actually, no, wait. No, we do need to do another round. This is my other snake plant. Someone docks ice beans for the memes? No, you may not. Okay. Alright, so what I'm gonna, also what I'm starting to do, by the way, is, I'm gonna be doing, so what I'm gonna do is water it and then do a light watering with fertilizer in it. And the fertilizer I use is, it's this really foul stuff. It's like, well, I say foul, because it smells like an aquarium. It smells like fish food. It's actually like fish, it's basically fish poop. It's fish poop fertilizer. Hey, Christopher Wallace, welcome in. If I had an aquarium, I would water my plants with aquarium water, but I do not have an aquarium. So unfortunately, I have to use bottled fish poop. It is what it is. A fish shit in that bottle? I think it's even worse, McFiston. It's concentrated fish shit. You know? It's like concentrated. So technically what I do... Here, I'll show you. Technically many fish... That's so nasty. Well, okay, to be fair, it's more natural than some of the other fertilizers I could be using, right? So what I do is I have this gallon of like, I have this gallon bottle that I fill up with water, and then I have this old like sauce container. Use Monsanto fertilizer? No. And I basically just pour like what's basically a tablespoon's worth. Okay, because I shook it up, it's all foamy and gross. Oh my god. Ew. Every single time I do this, my cats will come over because they like the smell, I guess, you know? Okay, I need to make sure this is closed properly before I shake it up, or I'll have fish poop water all over me. Okay. That's good enough. Move aside. My god. Does that come through? I'm very curious. Does that come through? Holy! It's the freaking thing. Hold on. It's the freaking guy outside revving his fucking engine right in, like, in front of God and everybody. Holy. That is crazy. That's crazy. I'm inside right now, and yeah, you can still see it, or I bet you can still hear it. Okay, he's gone away now. What an asshole. Oh my god. Sure. Did you wait, could you hear it like one more time as he like gasses and guns it and goes down the road? Oh my Christ. Holy shit, dude. Okay. Now that that's over. Okay. I'll do a round of fertilizer water and then we'll switch over to the next round of plants. So I usually only fertilize during the summer. Well, during the spring and summer. I don't generally fertilize during the winter. But that's only because I typically don't have like the best lighting situation for them. And the trick with plants is like you only want to feed them when they're like actively growing. If you don't have a good lighting situation for them and you're watering them and you're feeding them like with fertilizer, then you're just like asking, but they don't have enough light to actually do their thing, then you're just asking for trouble basically. Isn't Icebeans homestay not where Venus flytraps come from? I don't actually know. I know that it's like they grow in swamps, but I don't know which state or if there's like a state that they're native to. Bro is trying to tell you his dick don't work. True. First tuna tip, he should make notes. We should do a check-in of his plant. Hey, look, dismissed the Carolinas, I believe. Okay. So then it would be South Carolina, right? Whoa! Holy! Sir, where are you going? Those two flowers are still hanging on. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed. They've been hanging on here for a while. Okay. Beans, think fast. I actually blew my guts out this morning from some kind of stomach bug. What should I eat to feel better? Tuna, that depends on what you normally would eat to feel better. Like, for me, my stomach normally gets calmed down if I, like, eat, like, if I drink milk, usually that calms my stomach down, you know? Something really mild, like crackers or something. Like saltines. It really depends on, like, what you've eaten in the past that would have calmed your stomach down, if there is something like that, you know? If you don't know, I would say something like saltines are good. But really, you should try, like, if you have, like, Tums or something like that, that would probably calm your tummy down, too. Ginger ale? Yeah, ginger ale. Drink a Monster? No. Don't drink a Monster. Extra salty licorice? No. Nothing crazy, mind you. Like, it's gotta be, like, bland food. No spicy, nothing like that. If you have Tums, you should take Tums. Or Metamucil, if you've got any Metamucil. I did not break the root, that's good. That I have a Tums. I'm already drinking Event NG. Why not spicy? Because typically speaking, spicy tends to, like, upset stomachs. Look, this is another good sign that this plant is doing well. It's bringing in a new leaf. New leaf is poking up. We've got a rolled up leaf right here. Little pee-pee. Just a little bit. Another sign that this orchid is pretty happy is, this seems really weird, but, like, and I don't know if you can see this, but you can actually see how, like, this air root is, it's got, like, a bright yellow tip. And what that means is that the air root is actually growing. Like, it has not grown the entire winter and now it's growing again. So that's a good sign. Little peepee, yep. The little peepee. Okay. Let's put the rest of these away. This is a plant pot that Mr. Beans painted. It's really cute. Okay. I should probably have some kind of saucer for this, but I don't, so it is what it is. Alright. I feel like this one needs a bigger pot already, but I might wait till next week to do it because this one, like, okay, so this is how you kind of know. This is kind of how you maybe know. Obviously, the state of the roots will tell you a lot about the plant, but like, this plant is thirsty. Like, this plant, I think it's a little hard to tell, but you can actually see where, like, it's like wrinkled. I don't know how well that's coming through on the camera, but it means that, like, obviously it means that it's thirsty. But I watered it last week, so the fact that it's this thirsty means that, like, it sucked up all that moisture in the week, right? So it could probably stand to go into another bigger pot. And this is after I had repotted this into this pot, like, only a couple weeks ago. So, you know. Those who inhale Cheetos dust get dementia, yes. Why wouldn't the spice help sweat it out? Well, you don't want to... Okay, you already got an upset stomach, so you don't want to introduce anything else that's crazy. Plus, because, like, right now, especially if you said you've been pooping a whole lot, that means your body is, like... You probably pooped out a lot of, like, electrolytes and stuff, you know? You don't need to make that situation worse. Know what I'm saying? Hey, Angry Moose on the loose. Don't touch any plants, we don't want them to die. Rude! Okay. So, next round of watering. I got this guy recently. It's a little bonsai. I'm gonna try my hand at bonsai, so, you know, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, like, this is the other kind of fertilizer that you can get. It's like the little balls that you can put in here. I don't really prefer that kind of fertilizer, but you know what? I'm not gonna repot this plant. I only recently got this, so I'm not gonna repot this at least for a few weeks, at least. So I'm just gonna let that be. This is another thirsty boy, and it looks like this leaf, it got a little stressed out. It is intaking water though. So, like, this was a plant that I repotted last time, I think, that I did my plant stream. I have seen it taking up water, so that's a good sign. It means that the roots aren't rotted, but it did go through, like, a stressful period, which is why this leaf, like, is yellowing. But generally speaking, you don't want to you don't want to remove yellowing leaves until they're almost fully yellow. Like until they're ready to fall off. Because what the plant actually does is it actually takes back whatever nutrients it can as the leaf yellows. That's why it does that. That's why it turns yellow, is because the plant is sucking back all of the nutrients that it can get before it then, like, kind of releases the leaf, or it, like, falls off, right? So, alright, and then the rest of these are all plants that are in cups. So we don't need to put them in here to be watered. Oh, okay, there's a couple here. Never mind. You should ask King Solomon for bonsai tree secrets. Oh, does he have bonsai? That's really cool. That's neat. I didn't know he has bonsai. I should hit him up. I think there's one more plant. Oh, this one. Oh, and then this big one over here, but, you know, I'll deal with that one in a second. Okay. So regular water first. I'm guessing since he lives in the country of bonsais. Okay, gotcha. Plant bonsais are a whole nother beast. I'm actually kind of nervous about this one. Because the whole idea of a bonsai is that you're keeping a tree, which would typically be planted like in the ground, and you're keeping it in a very shallow pot. So it has a very like limited root system. And the idea is that you obviously prune the branches every few years or so, and you shape them into the way that you want, or you can. But the idea is still that like the root system is really small. So it means that you have to like water it. Like some plants, some trees, depending on, and especially depending on where you keep them, you have to water them like every day. Fast Pro Shop, that's my ass bro stuff. That's a good one. Oh, he's back, he's back. Mr. Loudman is back. Can you hear it? I don't know how much of that is coming through. She's about to fart again. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Okay. So we're gonna let that soak a bit. I can start watering the cups. Have you seen the bonsai tree with the mini fruits? No. Oh wait, actually not the mini fruits, but I have seen bonsai trees with like, you know, like I saw somebody on Reddit post their like lemon tree with like a single lemon on it, you know, and it was like a bonsai tree that was this size and then a big fat fucking lemon hanging off of it. And everybody in the comment section was making like lemon stealing horror jokes. It was great. Beast, don't you feel your body shivering with desire? The sound of the big manly engine. I did not. Oh my god. Okay. So again, these guys, because they're in cups. So actually what I do with these, because they're in cups, but also I'm gonna put some fertilizer water in it. I'm gonna fill them up with water, like the way I normally do, and then put maybe a little bit less water than I would, and then I'll just top off with just a little bit of the fertilizer. Because these guys, so with these guys, the water isn't gonna be draining out like with the others. So that means that whatever fertilizer water I put in here will stay there for longer. So I just put a little bit less so that it doesn't like accidentally burn them. Their dog shit vehicle sounded like someone shitting themselves. Yeah, no. I mean, I've heard it before, and in fact, I feel like even last time when I was out here, they might have revved their engine and driven away, but I think the mic that I had at the time wasn't so sensitive, you know what I mean? Actually, here, let me pour out a little bit of this water. Okay. That one's down. Okay. This one, he's leaving again. Is that him? Is that the same dude? Oh my god. Where the hell are you going, buddy? There's even special dirt for bonsai trees? Yes, Christopher. Yes, there is special dirt. This is the problem, though. The special dirt is like... the problem with the special dirt is that because it's engineered to, like... Essentially, it's engineered to not hold on to moisture too much. But that also means that it's a problem because it can be a problem because if you're not somebody who's around to water it every day or something like that, then the tree could die if you put it in too well draining water. Soil. Right? Oh, we're about to hear another person rev their truck. Dude, everybody's getting in their trucks and leaving. On his third hinge date of the day. How amazing. Okay. Stick that in there. How are you doing it? I just replanted this last week, so I'm not actually going to put any fertilizer in this one. I'm just going to stick them back in. Same thing for these two. Actually, these two are probably fine. I'll decide later. But yeah, this is one good way. This is one good way to reuse all those like takeout cups that you might like use. You can put plants in them. Okay. All right. See, I can't tell how much of that you can hear. Like all the assorted noises that are going downstairs, you know? And if I come in to see, then it's muffled. So I can't tell anyway. Like, could you hear that guy, like, rummaging around in the back of his pickup? Time to rev the old engine and drive around the block. You know, with the... You know what I mean? Okay. And also, weirdly enough, it's cooler outside than it is inside. That's crazy. Okay. Oh, this guy as well. Almost forgot about this guy. I need just a bit more water. So many people love pickup trucks here, it's crazy. That's crazy, chat. XQbeans. XQB. Like, and another person is revving their shit down the road now. What the hell? What's going on? Poor Talos is, like, completely freaked out. Hi, buddy. Okay, fertilizer time. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Why are there so many truck chuds in your neighborhood? Dude, I'm in South Carolina. What can I say, okay? This is just a thing. It is simply just a thing. Now, this plant needs, like, this plant needs a whole, I feel like this plant needs its own stream. Maybe next week we'll do, like, when we do plant chores and stuff, we'll, like, fix this plant, because this plant needs a whole tune-up. Like, it needs a fucking makeover right here. Like, everything's falling off. Like, it needs, like, a pole extension here so that I can continue to grow upwards and put out, like, bigger and bigger leaves instead of getting smaller leaves because there's no more pole to grab onto. It needs, like, new soil. There's just so much that's going on with this. And it's also, like, precarious. It's a precariously situation over here. So, next week we'll do that. Trucks and Mustangs all throughout the Carolinas. Oh, dude, don't even get me started. You know, we only just outlawed the Carolina squat. And if any of you don't know what the Carolina squat is, it's when somebody mods their pickup truck so that the front of the... So that the front of the truck is, like, up and the back of the truck is low. Hi and friend, low and back. Exactly, Lead Vitamin. Welcome in, by the way. We just outlawed that shit. And I still see people... with, like, squatted trucks. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. There's absolutely no use for it whatsoever. It actively hinders your vision. Like, you have to look, you have to be seated, like, it's really, it just literally hinders your vision. Good way to run over pets and kids. Like, already the, those trucks are, like, really high, you know what I mean? Wait, did I water this one? I didn't. I didn't regular water it. Okay. Did I regular water this one? Oh, I didn't regular water this one either. I regular watered the other ones. Okay. You live where the hit movie Cars was from? I don't think so. Alright, hold on. I gotta move this aside. I gotta move you aside. We need some space. Okay, also, I need to remove this song. This song is in my ending playlist. Okay? This song is in my ending playlist. It shouldn't be in my regular playlist. Still trying to talk speeds. I mean, to be honest, if somebody who was really dedicated could probably do it, right? Okay. Alright. Also, this looks disgusting. I'm gonna have to wash this out later. Okay. What's next? Fertilize these, and then we're done with watering. The general watering. Okay. Okay. Oh. Settlers do weird shit to their car because they don't have to contend with snow, the freeze and thaw cycle, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's also just, like, boredom, you know? Okay, we need space for this. I'm just gonna put this back and fertilize the bonsai. Oh, I guess I didn't need to fertilize the bonsai. Oh, it's fine. It's only fish poop. Alright. So now we can move on into, like, rehabbing the plants. So, as soon as I put these away, then I'll get out, like, the little various, cuttings and stuff. And the moss. So I usually use this brand of moss to, like, grow my cuttings and stuff in. And I use all kinds of containers, basically. I found the state anthem of South Carolina or Carolina by Shaggy. Oh shit, I guess we have to fertilize, like, just a little fertilizer in each of the cups. I'm just putting, like, a tiny smidgen. I'm not putting a lot. Like a little drink. So I can, like, ramp up the... So I just kind of get used to it. I don't know if that helps or not, but, you know, it helps in my mind. Okay. All these can go back. Okay. And then usually if there's leftover water after I'm done with all my shit, I just like pour it into the bushes outside. They can get some fish poop water, it's fine. One slightly more serious remark or question, how do you deal with partially brown leaves? When you say partially brown leaves, do you mean... Hold on. Let me... Actually, I'm gonna leave this one in there for a little bit longer. And let it soak it up. Let it do some butt chugging. Okay. So when you say brown leaves, there's two types, right? There's like yellowing leaves like this, where it's like you can see that it's yellowing, but it hasn't turned like crispy and brown yet. Or if they're all yellow, but they're still like, you know, kind of pliable. That's one type. And then there's the other, which is like, they are brown and crispy, you know? Which one are you talking about? Partially like half third or half brown? Okay. I would say it kind of depends. Okay, so, okay. If they're so brown that you can basically like if you can kind of, if they kind of, first of all, if they fall off on their own, you know, or if it doesn't take much effort to actually pull them off, that's a dead leaf, right? There's really nothing you could do about those apart from like picking them off the leaf, off the stem. If it's a thing where it's a yellowing leaf, I would leave it alone. I was explaining this earlier, but yellowing leaves just mean that, like, obviously that leaf is going to turn brown eventually, but while it's yellowing, this is the plant like sucking back any nutrients that it can. So now this is a really rough plant. Like, this is like one of my rehab plants for sure. You can still save the stem and you can do stuff with the stem, which I'll show you in a bit. But like so technically speaking, if you can see like each segment, each of these segments used to have a leaf. And you know, they fell off they fell off gradually, but now this plant is like, you know, I neglected this plant quite a bit. So now I just want to start all over because I don't like seeing this like bare, you know, stems. So the leaves won't grow back. Once they've fallen off, they don't really grow back from like those old stems unless you cut off the growing part. And then it'll send another like growth point from somewhere along the stem. So that's the kind of simple, long-winded answer, I guess. It's not really simple. But if it's yellowing, leave it alone until it like turns brown or falls off by itself, you know? Just leave it alone. It's fine. You can cut it off or you can pinch it off if you want, but I don't usually do that. Okay. What should we start with? We'll start by putting these. So these are fresh cuttings. I do need a little... Oh, perfect. So I just have this tub, and I'm gonna just soak some moss. Okay, wait, that's on camera, cool. I need a new bag of moss. I guess I could have gotten a smaller tub. It's fine. I needed more water. That's what happens. I'll just go research or refill this. And if y'all didn't think that I was enough of a white girl frat wife already, the other thing that I did today was I made sugar cubes. I have this like little ice cube mold that I'll make like sugar cubes for our coffee. So that's currently like drying out right now. So once they're dry, I'll take them all out and put them in a tub. It's so that I don't have to get like dirty a spoon, like, or have a spoon in the sugar. Like, I hate doing that. I just rather like reach in, pull some sugar cubes out, and be done with it. You know what I mean? Lead vitamin. Okay. Don't judge me. Okay, actually, there was one more thing I needed to get. Oops. Okay. Okay, so I did have this, which I had some plants in here that kind of died. I'm just gonna take them out. Because I'm gonna be honest, I kind of forgot about this underneath my, I had little cuttings in here, and then I completely and utterly forgot about them. Because this little thing slid underneath my plant stand, so I didn't even, I totally forgot that it was still there. So the little cuttings are dead, but I can still use the moss and put new stuff in it. Okay, take that out, put some water in, moisten that up, moisten. Sorry if people don't like that word. Hey Thorns, how's it going? Okay, so for this big one, I'm probably gonna put it in its own cup, actually. That's what I'll start with. But because it doesn't have any roots yet, this is kind of a big cup, huh? No, I'll put it in the big cup. It's fine. How are you doing, Thorns? Okay. Then actually I'll wrap it around and put it in. That's how I'll do that. Oh yeah, we're just doing some plant chores today. And I'm testing out my new in real life mic. A ghost energy drink. You people are, you know, okay, here's a question, right? Because I honestly can't stand energy drinks, and I think it's because of the, like, the aspartame or whatever it is. I can't get over it. I can't do aspartame. I can't do the whatever the fake sugar it is that they have, you know? I think otherwise I'd do it a lot more. It's weird because I'll suck down like high fructose corn syrup like in Coke, but I can't do aspartame. You ever make kokodama? Hey lamp boobs, I have never tried making kokodama. I wouldn't mind trying though. I use moss all the time. It looks kind of sad right now, but he'll perk up. Okay. Well, we'll put a little bit of water in there. I said a little bit and then I put a lot. It's fine. Hey, Alicatales. I can't do aspartame either. It gives me a headache. Went and got a pepperoni pizza. How we doing? Well, as long as it calms your stomach, Tuna. They're super fun once you get the hang of it. Great for succulents and ferns. What's the shit in the tray? Looks like onion casserole. It's moss. It's moss, Tuna. Okay, so for these two, I'm gonna put them in a cup, but I'm gonna put them in a tiny cup. Actually, I'm gonna be evicting this guy and putting them in a pot, so we will steal this cup from this man. Actually, I'm just gonna... I don't know if I'll be throwing away this moss or if I'll be reusing it, so I'm just gonna keep it here for now. I'm also gonna rinse this out really quick. Evicting? Oh no. Not beating what allegations? I only read a little bit of that. Okay. This is actually a cup that I stole from Air Canada. Because it's actually really hard to find cups that are like this size. And I don't need like a whole ton of them, so I don't ever want to buy them. So if I'm on a plane, I'm that weird person that like steals the cups from the airplane. You should try Riot Energy, all natural and made from tea and juice. Ooh, I've never actually had that. Okay, wait. By the way, are you trying to do something after you're done with the plants? I don't know yet. Why? What's up, Tuna? You have something in mind? It's a couple from Venice Beach. Tart cherry watermelon. Ooh. I have to look that up, actually. Okay. That goes in the trash. And these guys... I want to play some browser games with you. Well, we'll see what time I get done. Careful, Beans. You know what happened to the airplane? Whistleblowers, careful with stealing from airports. Listen, they give it to me. And then they come around and they throw it away. And this way, I'm not throwing it away. You know? I'm, reusing. It's not a single-use plastic anymore. Okay. Get back in there. Alright. Whole Foods even sells it? Ooh, Whole Foods. I'll have to check it out. 2 for $4-ish, I think. Honestly, I might try. I'll say that, like, what I've been doing... Oops, hold on. How the hell did that fall out? Hello? Get back in there. For me, what I do is... I mean, I've been doing a lot of, like... I do a lot of, like... Where's my tea? I'll do a lot of boba tea. You know, I'll make my own boba tea. Or I'll like, I'll drink like Coke, but I'll only drink like the little mini Cokes. And usually I'll limit myself to like 1 a day at most. Unless it's like a special treat or something. Okay. A little water at the bottom for this, too. And that goes on the rail. Bring our dingo to flight control. We got an Asiatic brown woman with traces of sediment on her fingers getting sus with the plastic cuffs. This is not a test. Okay, so now for this guy. This is a long, okay. This is kind of a tricky one because what I want to do is make multiple plants out of this one vine. But if I cut it up, so theoretically speaking, for anyone who wants to get into plants, this is a plant that has like each segment is growing a leaf for the most part, and each segment can grow roots and it can grow a new growth point. So so I could theoretically snip it in between the segments and get like 1, 2,
Plant
3,
mom
4.
and cat mom beans, let's
Holy
go
shit.
ooh.
Holy, what was that? Oh, was that Female Linux? Hey, Female Linux, welcome in. But yeah, so I could get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, technically 11 plants out of this one. But if I cut it up, I'm a little worried that some of them might like rot and die. So I think what I'm gonna do instead is like put this entire thing into moss and like basically lay it on the moss and then cut it only once I start to see roots, and like only cut it at where I see roots. I think that will probably give me the best way. What is that? So this is a it's called a philodendron. A philodendron. Well, this one is specifically a Rio, but you will probably see a variation of it that's called a Brazil, like philodendron Brazil. You'll find those in stores and stuff. It looks fake. It's not actually fake. It's very pretty. It's not fake though. Welcome in, Ties and Wine. So I'm actually gonna use this for that plant right here. Let me just take out some crap that I didn't take out earlier. Oh, there you go. Okay. So let me just... Okay. Okay. We'll add a little bit more moss in there too. Okay. So ideally you want to put it so that like all points of it is touching the moss, but because of how like curly this is, that's really hard. It's kind of hard to do. So I'm just going to let it sit in there, and then it'll start growing. It'll start growing leaves later. It'll start growing roots later. So we'll keep that over there. Now it does have to get some air once in a while. So I'll probably take this with me and like open it up every day and just make sure it gets some fresh air, so that it doesn't get all like weird and muggy in there. Okay, what's next? Okay, the rehabs. Well, they're not really rehabs, but are you feeding your plants vodka? Beans! Hey, Brandon. I'm using old vodka bottles because they're actually really good to collect water in, okay? So I don't have to go fill this bad boy 1,000 times at the sink. Instead, I just fill up a couple of these guys. So this one's vodka, and then this one's whiskey. Legit question, Beans, what's your setup looking like these days since the updates and upgrades? Why not a hose? Because I don't have a hose, Tuna. There's no outdoor hookup here. I mean, there probably is one downstairs. But I'm not gonna go find out where it is and use it. You is the hose? What climate are you in? I am in... Oh damn, I used to know what zone I was in. I'm in South Carolina, whatever that zone is, on the East Coast. It's pretty humid. Like, most plants out here most plants are really, really happy out here, actually. You hardly ever need, like, a humidifier. Probably in the winter, you know? It doesn't ever snow here. Also, can y'all hear the owl that's hooting? It's the hot, dear God, please turn the sun off zone. It is pretty hot. It does get pretty hot. I will admit that. And especially my balcony is a it's a southwest balcony. That means that it gets the sun all day and then it gets direct sunlight in the evening. So I have to account for that, because on one hand, a south-facing balcony is really good. It means you get indirect light all day. But it also means that I have direct light in the afternoon. I also have direct light in the morning. It's really weird. I'm like in a multi-directional thing. So I actually have to be careful, because I don't want you don't want like plants to burn out here, which that can happen. So right now I'm just picking off like the excess moss from the roots, like really trying to be gentle, because I don't want to take off too much roots. Like, some roots are gonna come off, but it's just how, what it is, you know? Okay. He joined his cousin in Estonia. You know, the crow I post about, indeed. I'm in Colorado, very dry here, snows in winter. Yes. If it's very dry, I mean, it just means that you can only do, I mean, it's not that you can't have the plants you want, you know? For me, even though, like, okay, so, like, you would think, like, okay, Lamp Boobs mentioned, like, Kokodama earlier, and, like, ferns are really good with Kokodama. I'm really shit at keeping ferns alive. I'm really, really shit at keeping ferns alive. Even though I'm in the climate that would be most beneficial to ferns. Like, it's really humid outside, it's hot most of the year. I'm just shit at keeping ferns alive. And it's because they still require a lot of watering. And I'm a person who, I have realized I need more sturdier plants. I need plants that can survive not being watered for a week. You know what I mean? Okay, so this guy is a little leggy, and what I mean by leggy is we've got a few missing leaves on this stem. I don't want to cut it though. Well, I could actually cut it. I could cut it down here, and then you know what? Let's do that. So I'm gonna cut it like in between the two segments, like right there. And I'm gonna put this in a pot with soil and whatnot. But if this one doesn't work out, now we'll have like a bunch more. Let's put it in one of these guys. He just decapitated that plant. Hey, Ergie. I did. And yeah, guess what? I'm gonna mutilate it even more because this is not the end, okay? Ergie! Also, y'all have to tell me if y'all can hear me chewing, okay? That will be not ideal. Also, this is how bad the pollen is. Look at this fucking shit, dude. Look at this. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. Oh, my finger's not wet enough. Ew! Ew! That's gross. All that plant sperm. What are the benefits of moss? Did you already talk about it? Should I rewind and catch back up? No, you're fine. I don't think I did. So the benefits of moss. Some people will, okay, so basically I use moss to propagate in, and propagation just basically means like propagation is you're taking a plant that has no roots and you're propping it so that it grows roots and then grows like a new plant, you know? So like this segment, I don't know if you can see this really well, but there's actually like a bump that has a lighter green, like a little light green thing there. And if I cut it right here, what's gonna happen is these brown bumps are gonna grow roots, and then that whitish bump is gonna grow a new leaf. So it can become its own plant. So propagating usually just means that you're sticking it in a cup of some kind of like either soil or moss or perlite or some other growing medium so that it can go ahead and put out those roots and stuff. Some people use soil. I don't use soil, I use moss because moss is, it's sterile, it's easy to keep moist. I find that I don't usually get like rot with moss, but I've used other things in the past. I've used like perlite. I've used you can use this stuff, which is called like leca or hydrocorals. I think they call them that in the Netherlands. You can use different things. I like moss. It's just easy. You can do that with any plant. No, you can do that with any plant, Ergie. Now, there's some plants that like are... There's some plants that are basically like... they don't propagate the same way. Like what you can do is basically look up like... If you have a plant and you know the name of the plant, you can look up like how to propagate X, Y, and Z. And it'll usually tell you how you can propagate X, Y, and Z. A lot of them will require, this is called, that segment is called a node. Does it help with pests? It's not necessarily, I mean, okay, so, okay, here's what's, just like with soil, okay, if I were to reuse soil from another pot, like, okay. I bought this plant from the store. If I were to reuse this soil, whatever's in this soil would go into my other plants. You know, like if there were any pests in there, they would go into the other plants. And I already know that one of my plants has given my other plants pests. I don't know which one, so I'm gonna have to treat them all. But it is what it is. What am I doing? I'm gonna fix that. It's fine. Do you know if you're propagating on leca, should you soak the leca in water with nutrients or no? I don't. But I also don't usually propagate in leca. If I'm propagating in water, I just propagate in water, you know what I mean? Rude, I know, right? Oh, I should add more soil to this. This needs a bit more soil. Some plants require you to change the soil environment, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, yeah. It like jumpstarts it? Yes, Allie. That's basically what it does. I'm just gonna put this in. And this is probably going to be too small for it, but that's fine. Because the main thing that I wanted to not do is, like, I don't want it to rot in there. Because it, like, the soil, like, this is the problem that I find with soil, is that and this is the reason why my soil has all this shit in it, is because my main problem is that I end up having, like, the water retains in the soil, and then what happens is that the roots don't get air, and then they rot because they don't have air. Like, it doesn't dry out fast enough. What's a Volkstuin? Volkstuin? Allotment garden? Community garden? Oh, absolutely. I probably would. I'm gonna look it up one more, but you may use on my mama's plants to get new sprouts growing. Oh, yeah! Really, it depends on your environment. You know, if you have, like, soil, and if you're checking up on it every once in a while and everything, soil is perfectly fine to propagate new things in. I just like being, sure. Because that's the other thing with soil, is that you can't really see what's going on when you use soil. Here's an example of what I mean, okay? So I have this, oh, this is perfect. Okay, so I had this orchid in moss, and then it actually used to be, you can actually see that dark green stuff. That was the old moss. And then a couple weeks ago, I actually did this on stream. I put it in this bigger cup and put, like, more moss around it. And now it's, like, starting to grow and put out new leaves, and it's great. But I can also see the roots, because what ends up happening is that, especially when you put it in a cup like this, the roots start coming to the edges of the cup, and you can actually see the root growth, and you can see, like, you know, okay, are the ends of the roots white? Because that's good. If they're black, then that's bad. Like, you could just see it, you know? So that's why I like using moss, because with soil and, like, a not plastic cup like this, you can't see that, you know? Don't know if I have another example that's like, here's another example. So this one has been in here for a while, and you can actually see how, like, it's actually, like, the noodles are starting to line up and, like, oh, god damn it. The noodles are starting to, like, line up and, like, circle around the bottom of it, which is a really good sign. It means that, like, it's ready to, like, I could put this into a bigger pot if I wanted to. Or I could put this into actual soil now. I'm just lazy. I don't want to do it all at once. What's that long boy in the gray pot? Long boy in the gray pot. Long boy? The gray pot? Wait. You mean this one? I don't have any other gray pots, I think. On the floor? Yeah, okay. So this is a Scindapsus. You can find these at the grocery store too. I've just put it, so it's in its pot obviously, but I've put it on a pole, because once it gets onto a pole and once it starts attaching itself to the pole, then the leaves will get, like, bigger, and it'll start actually doing something called shingling, which is basically where, like, the leaves will, like, be pasted onto the pole like this. Because that's what they do in the wild when they grow on trees, or whatever, or on walls or whatever. You can, like, see them, like, pasted flat against the wall. The pole is made of, I use plastic fencing, and this stuff is you can put moss in these. A lot of people will put, like, the same kind of moss. I put, like, coconut coir, which is, like, the coconut husk, just because it's cheaper. What is the pole? Yeah, no, it's not leaves. Like the, you know, like the you can buy coconut core, which is actually soil. But if you search for like coconut husk or coconut chips, then you get this. You get this stuff. Hey, interrupter. Yeah, it's garden time. Bird is not here, unfortunately. Bird is at home. In my parents' house. Unfortunately. Whoa! Here, I'll show you the coconut. So this is the coconut husk. I actually get this, like, you can get, like, big bricks of this. Because sometimes people will use this as, like, mulch. But you can actually even propagate with this, too. I have propagated with this as well. Like, you can put this in the cup. Basically, here, I'll even show it. I'll do one. Actually, I'll do that plant that we decapitated. I'll put that in a. I'll put that in the coconut chips. It's the same thing, basically. What are we planting? We're doing some rehabs today. I watered all my plants. I fertilized all my plants, and now we're taking out all our cuttings and putting them into like little pots. Dad uses horse dung in his community garden. Horse dung is really good. Cow dung is actually super good. Here, let me fix this. Okay. Where was I? What was I supposed? Oh, right, this guy. We are gonna have to soak this though, so let's soak some. So I'm just gonna let it soak for a bit. And then we'll squeeze out most of that water. How is human shit for fertilizer? I have no idea. How did your convo with Glitterbell end up going yesterday? About as well as you would expect. Listen, I always love talking to Glitterbell, okay? Does our diet have to have nap? You know, I actually don't know, Tuna. I don't think I've ever considered it. I feel like our diet would probably not be great. As North Korean. Okay, so for this one, I'm actually gonna go a couple different strategies to get the best result. So I am gonna chop it up a bit more. Oh no, don't do that. So if you're doing it like this, where you're segmenting it, you do want to generally remember which way is up. Oh my gosh, I need to stop dropping it. Okay. This way's up because that's where the growth node is. Okay. Don't drop it this time. Okay, cool. And then one more. And then the rest, I'm gonna put that in the coconut core. I forgot if you said you were interested in hydroponics. I haven't done, okay. I used to do hydroponics. The problem that I found with hydroponics is that the roots grow too well. And what I mean by that is that, I don't know if you saw earlier where, like I was showing you, come on out of there. Okay, this one's, I might, oh wait, no, here you go. So this plant has like, all the roots are starting to like circle down at the bottom, which is fine. The problem is that there are some plants where, this is what's called being root bound. Some plants like being root bound. That means that they grow well when they are root bound. Some plants don't. that means that, like, if they are root bound, then they'll stop pushing out, like, big leaves. They'll start pushing out tinier and tinier leaves. And for some plants, that's not what you want. Like, that's not what you technically want. Like with Monstera, for example. The point of a Monstera is that it's big and it's got the big, like, fenestrations in the leaves, and they got the holes in the leaves and everything. So, so what I found when I was doing hydroponics was that it loved it so much that it would very quickly, like, circle the bottom and become, like, root bound. And then it would stop putting out the big leaves. So I got really annoyed by that, I'm gonna be honest. So I converted whatever plants I had converted to hydroponics, I converted them back to being like normal soil plants. Because it wouldn't do it that fast, you know? Maybe it doesn't like having big leaves? No, it's not that, because these were plants that like Monstera. Like Monstera, like if you let them, if you give them the proper conditions for growing, they will have big leaves. With the hydroponics, it just means that, like, the way that I would have to counter that is by basically, like, keeping on repotting it into bigger and bigger pots to give it more room. And that was what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to have to deal with constantly repotting it into bigger and bigger pots. That was the problem. Okay, alright, so... So the idea is that you put it in so that some of the nodes are covered up, you know, and inside that environment. And then that's basically it. All you have to do is just make sure that it doesn't dry out completely. You can just, like, you know, whenever you check on it, you can just, like, put enough water so that it, like, fills up, like, maybe, like, half an inch of the bottom or something. That's kind of it. And then you can just, like, watch it grow. That's basically it. Okay, we're talking about farms. Oh, we're talking about farm animals. Okay, I'm gonna put some water in the bottom of this. And then the rest of these, actually what I'm gonna do, I'll put one of them in here. So I'm just gonna put one of them in the same environment and see how it does. And then the rest I'm gonna put in that same box with the other leaves. And see how they go. Like, these will probably do a lot. These will probably grow a lot faster because it's gonna be in, like, a more humid environment. So we'll do an update on these later. Hey, Leonard is waiting. Welcome in. Wait, what? Why is it showing, like... Oh, here we go. It's showing a people arrive, okay. How are you doing? Leonard is waiting. Last night was so surreal, by the way. Okay, what's next? We did that. Oh, right. This. Oh my god, this. This is so overdue to being in a pot that has, like, a pole. Like, it's crazy. So Christopher, I don't know if Christopher Wallace is still here, but, you were asking about brown leaves. So, like, this leaf is, like, entirely brown, you know? And, like, I can pull it off. It's done. Okay. Let's see what we got. Oh, a lot of this moss is still good. Hey. That's cool. Damn, that root system, though. These guys are kind of weird. These are also philodendrons. But they're a different kind of philodendron. This one's called a, I think it's called like a strawberry milkshake? A strawberry something? I'm blanking on the name. This stream is crazy. You know, I don't know if... there's probably other people who do plant content on Twitch. I don't think I've ever looked, if I'm gonna be completely honest. That's just what I want to hear while I'm doing my normal plant activities, is a baby laughing in the music. Bow gardens? Oh, really? That's cute. Like actual gardens, or like real life, or like how does she do it if she's a VTuber? So these guys are kind of funny because they've actually got like pink roots. I don't know if you can tell. Here. Whoa. They're like pinkish. Really cute. But yeah, still if it's black, that's bad. And also like, so you can kind of see like, so most of the stem is like still fairly healthy, but like this bottom part at the end here is kind of, it's not squishy, but it is dead. So I'm gonna cut it off. Oh, actually, here, look, it's just coming off. That's good. So this root that's attached to it is still healthy though. So I'm gonna keep that. But that bottom part, I'm gonna take off. Because you don't know what, like if I put that into soil, it might actually start rotting and then start rotting the rest of the plant, you know? So that's not what I want. I don't want that. Okay, so I'm gonna put this into a pot that has like a pole in it so that it can start growing. Fuck, how am I gonna do that? Need an actual pot, don't I? Oh, that's perfect. I already have one, I think. Talos. I'm closing the door, buddy. You want to go inside? Okay. Go ahead. Alright. Actually, I'll put it in this pot afterwards. Can that fit? Can this fit? Yes, it can. Okay, perfect. Okay. So I'm gonna put this pot in this pole, I'm gonna put it in like this. It's gonna look ridiculous at first, but it'll be fine. Wait, can I ask so wait, Leonard, are you really a VTuber guy? Can I ask them legit question and not just call you a pedo, etc.? Oh my god. That's amazing. Okay. This is gonna be a little tricky. Yeah, Tuna, if you wanna get in the Discord, and we can do this over voice. Like if Leonard wants to hop in. Here, Here, I'll go jump in the I'll go jump in the voice chat, and then if you want to, you can come in. And so can Leonard. Turn the music down a tad too.
How are we doing? Can you hear me? Let me just make sure that my mic's on the right source, because this might sound like ass right now.
Hey, can you hear me?
What's the quality of this? It seems like I'm sending the right microphone.
Yeah,
I can hear you just fine, by the way.
Oh yeah, I can hear you just fine too. I'll probably have to actually turn you up a bit.
Oh, okay. Well, give it a shot. I could also probably, let me see. Okay, I'm gonna give you a warning.
Whoa,
Turn me down.
whoa, 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 whoa! Oh no, he
Turn me
gives
down.
us the
Turn me down.
he gives us
Turn
the
me down.
warning way too late.
Turn me down. Turn me down.
Oh my Christ!
Am I at the right volume now?
Yeah, you're better, I think.
Yeah, sorry. I just finished. Yesterday was chore day, and part of chore day usually is unplugging everything, replugging everything in. I definitely just knocked the knob. So anyway, I don't know if Leonard's hopping in, but if not, Leonard, don't feel like you have to be physically in. I could also ask through the thing. But this,
Here, I'm actually gonna turn the music off for right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Go ahead.
cut it out. You'll just type since you can't. Yeah, exactly. That's cool, Leonard. So we'll go one by one, although I've got a whole bunch of questions with this, because the VTuber thing, I feel like it clusters together with so many other things, and I'm not just talking about anime and like because I think everybody's nowadays, most people, I think our assumption is that a VTuber is an anime, usually lolly looking, that skirts the line between, oh, she's so cute and, oh, she's so hot. Like, that's the typical persona, but I don't know if that's the whole fucking thing. The first thing I'm going to say is, how typical is the use of voice changers nowadays, or any other thing, versus how many of these people are actors? Because they always use this extremely high-pitched voice that is unique to the thing, and at some point I kind of always assumed that it was acting, but then somebody at some point said something about a voice changer, and I was like, are they using voice changers? Is that what's going on? I'm sure some, not all, but like, you know, how many of these lollies are homebred, and how many of them are using technology? Because I know that obviously they use a visual technology, but is the sound also an industry? How much of the give me the skinny on this, Leonard?
Okay, he says.
Voice
I'm
changer-
assuming you're reading it. Okay.
It's a funny meme to the community that people are using voice. So they're. I'm sure that that's a funny meme to the community, but there's kind of a grave thing buried underneath that. So you're saying that people are spending their time learning how to speak in this extremely annoying voice, and
I don't know that it would.
I think most
I don't know
people
if
will agree
I don't know
it
if
would be annoying if it was. If you had to look at a person's face while they were doing it, it would be way more annoying. Obviously, there's a character, it plays into the character, that probably smooths over the thing. But I'm saying, like, there's a person, part of the art form seems to be learning how to do that weird voice.
I think so. What I think though that not all of them, like the lack of prevalence rather of voice changer. Like, this is their real voice. Now I think maybe some of them.
Okay,
some
when
of
you
them
say
could
real
be.
voice, you mean? Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Beans.
I was gonna say that, like, I would say that at most, people might be doing the thing where, you know how, like, if I wanted to, I could always talk in my customer service voice, and then eventually that would become my voice. And my customer service voice is like, it's very like, it's not high pitched, but it's a lot softer, you know? Um,
Well,
and kind of like how there are some people, some guys, for example, who will like lower their voice to kind of sound more manly. Um, and like sometimes you can kind of tell when somebody's doing that, you know. And I think you were maybe.
yeah, I mean, there are people who crackerify their voice, when they're at work. Obviously, I understand this has like an allusion to code switching, right? But I'm pushing something else when I say that. I'm not trying to imply. Okay, to me, a lot is being answered here. Number one is that it is a voice that is native to the job. It's obviously an accent that comes from. Also, Beans, don't you exclusively have a customer service voice? Isn't that how that
No,
works?
no, no. This is
Because
this is
women in
This
the
is closer to.
drive-through,
Yeah.
this is my most. This is the thing I find so. Unless I've only a certain percentage. Women, when they are in the drive-through at a fast food place, if they're the customer, they put on the service voice. And it's
Yeah.
terrible because then there are two women using a fake voice at each other. No one's there listening. Who's it for? I mean, it's like
It's
imagine the
like a social
slaves.
nicety. It's like a social nicety thing.
Do you think that the slaves called each other massa in the fucking hut? I would hope not.
No, but it is also like something that it's a bit of a courtesy thing. I will say that I automatically, like, if I'm calling somebody, like a tech support person, like, I can sometimes tell they're using the voice on me, and I can tell I'm using the voice on them. But it's sort of it's more of a courtesy thing than anything. It's like,
Don't you
hey,
instinctively want to tell them, hey, come on, you don't got to do that?
no, why would I want to do that?
Really?
Mm-hmm. Why would I want to do that?
Why would you want somebody to have to sit through doing a performance for you? Doesn't that kind of make you uncomfortable?
I think it's more jarring to tell them to turn it off.
Really? That's
Yes.
interesting.
Like, okay,
I can relate to
because
that.
I
I was
can't
a bouncer for a bit.
I can't switch, just like I can't switch from like, okay, if a friend called me while I'm at work, I couldn't instantly flip into like friend mode, you know? Like, I'm still at work. I'm still surrounded by the trappings of work. My nosy coworker is in this cubicle behind me. Like, I'm not going to be able to switch into non-work. So it's actually more work for me to switch out of that work voice than it is. Like, does that make sense? Also, Young,
Yeah,
this is by the way, this is Tuna Chip,
yeah, I
friend of the
have.
channel, friend of the channel. Okay, we have crazy conversations like this all the time.
What's up? What's up, mother? Sucker. Yeah, I was a bouncer for a while, and I know that I had an annoying thing that made sense to me at the time where people, what would they do? They would fucking they would ask me how I'm doing. They would ask me about my day, and I would be
Yeah.
like, "Don't ask me that. It doesn't make any sense."
Mm.
Like, what do you mean? My job is to like be the intermediary who gets assaulted when somebody's mad at my boss, or whenever my boss wants to like remove somebody from the building. I have to
Like,
be
hey,
like
totally.
it's like literally not a good it's a bad question. It's an
It's
unsophisticated
for
question
Leslie.
maybe to some extent. It only underlines how out of touch you are with what I'm currently experiencing, kind of deal. So I can understand it from that end where it's like you play your role, I'll play my role, and then by it being rote and mechanic and smooth, we can get through this interaction with as little thought and with as little awareness of the fact that everything we are doing, because it's almost as if when you take the voice away, you feel the fact that the rest of the day is faker. It like feels heavier when you go back to the voice. So it's better to like just put the mask on one, kind of like when it costs more energy to flick the lights on and off continuously than to
Yeah.
just leave them on
Yeah, yeah,
or to
yeah.
leave the car running.
No, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. Mm.
How is your indoor weed farm going? I don't be I Chris, here's a fun fact. Probably the most anti-drug person on Twitch. not in like a pro criminalization way, but in just like a God, I would do anything to never ever not be sober in my entire life. Like when I get sick, the amount that I become upset when the drugs that I take, if I take them, have an effect on me. Oh, I hate it so much. Anyway, so
Okay, answer. I think Leonard's following up with a question though.
yes, okay. I want to get back to the conversation to begin with anyway. So let's go back to the beginning of the question. Where does this stereotype that people have about VTubers come from, you think? Oh wait, the stereotype of it. Well, number one, female streamer. So we obviously have the origin of women, especially younger women, putting on a personality performance, especially one that is more physical, even if it is virtualized. It starts with cam girls. So you start with that like weight. You start with that heftiness. Then you take that and you just like merge it with the fact that there is this fan culture, right? There's this fan culture in general on the internet with anime, especially, but anything that is Asian culture has this idol culture. So when we look at that from the Western perspective, from the outside, it looks identical to the way that people treat, say, like young DiCaprio, like young DiCaprio, like what is it
The
called, where
origin
they
of
they make
women.
the videos where there's like hearts on top of it, and it's like it's a merge of a whole bunch of cutscenes from movies and such. So like I think we just tend to think of it as a childish form of obsession that is usually held together by like sexual desire that has not fully been associated with or identified with. That's like what we think of when we see that type of fandom. That's my first bias. And then the pedo part, I think, comes from like the My Little Pony. It comes from Twitch is a 20 to 30-year-old male dominated space. So then you're like, okay, you have 20-ish, 30-ish year old men inside of the chat of a extremely like child coded voice, anonymous character, so we don't actually have to see what her age is. It's like everything seems to be smoothing the wheels of creating an ambiguously pedophilic environment where a person is like attuning with a very childish form of desire towards a childish subject. I think that's where it comes from, 100%. What do you think is the psychographic difference between a Fuwa Mako viewer and an Iron Mouse viewer? So,
Are you
well,
familiar? Are you familiar with
I don't
Furamoko?
know who Fuwa Maku is. I'm
Okay.
typing it.
Maybe
Typing
Leonard
it.
can Leonard can give us an example of a clip.
Baudel, born to be Baudel, Fuwa Maku. I mean, I'm getting it seems like there are two characters. One is pink coated, one is it's baby blue, baby
Pink.
pink,
Yes.
blonde characters. I don't know. I haven't seen anything in action because I'm not gonna like watch a video over on here. Can you give me a hint as to what these characters do? I'm seeing chibi versions. Um, I'm seeing two girls that seem like maybe they're dressed up as Fuumaku. Maybe they are Fuumaku. I don't know.
So one of them is called Mokoko, and then the other one is called Fuwawa. And when you put it together, you get Fuamoko.
Okay.
And so that's where they stream together. That's the idea. But
Okay.
basically, read what Leonard is saying, I guess.
Yeah. They've been idols three separate times in their life.
Oh, I'm
Do
sorry,
you mean
buddy.
they've gone through phases of personas? Something like the way that David Bowie has been David Bowie, he's been Ziggy Stardust, he's taken on personalities in that way, or like reinvention of the same character, or is it like they took a hiatus and then came back? Can you give me that info, Leonard? Anyway, they fit the J-pop idol culture stuff I'm describing. Do you think Iron Mouse fans enjoy Iron Mouse in the same way as Fuwamako fans enjoy Fuwamako? So I think what I remember of Iron Mouse is that Iron Mouse does a lot of collabs with people. I know that Iron Mouse does a lot of collabs with specifically non-VTuber people. Seems to be kind of like the Kai Cenat of VTubing, where it's just like this person is almost completely separated from the culture that that they would typically be lumped into, or like they have like a gravitational orbit by that extent. So I don't really know. I don't know what Iron Mouse viewers are in their own, because I don't know what Iron Mouse's content is pre collaboration era. They were J-pop idols in flesh, then they were J-pop idols in Canada, then they were Fuwamako, which seems to be anime characters. You're setting up the conceptual difference between the structures of desire and consumption, that's SCAFA Western and Eastern consumption. Well, Leonard, you are having a conversation where there is a woman potting plants, while I, knowing very little about what you're talking about, am communicating to you via a different communication medium than you are to me. So let's smooth it over for the people who are viewing. Can you lay out your full claim and then back it up if I have issues with it afterwards? Just say it straight, because this would work if you were here talking, filling the gaps, but instead you have to struggle.
Yeah, and I don't want to interrupt by and like take Leonard away from his point or take you away from your point too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the pedophilia thing is even the most important part of the conversation with VTubing. I'm more interested in number one, VTubing seems to be an extremely capitalistic industry full of technologies that are like on the cutting edge. It's like a creative, like it's a new spin-off of an already young form of communication or broadcast entertainment. It's a spin-off of it, which seems directly opposed to the foundational principles of the thing, which is live streaming is low barrier to entry, easy access video, like live hosting. That's what makes Twitch unique to itself, is the fact that anybody can do it. It's very easy to do it.
Hey, Wild
There's
Ruby.
as few barriers possible.
Mm-hmm.
When I see the VTuber culture, apparently they're spending tons and tons of money. They're getting contracts. There's something called graduation, where a contract ends and maybe it doesn't get renewed for licensure of the character. It seems like these are maybe actors to a certain extent, in that they have to like learn a voice, create a personality, build it up, and then suddenly have it taken away from them. I think that that's the most interesting part of VTubing, is that it seems like, strangely enough, it is the opposite of live streaming on its structural end, but it also seems to be like replacing live streaming all the same. Something like that.
How is it replacing live stream? Out of curiosity, how do you see that it's replacing?
More and more people, as time goes on, are using are using more and more people are using each other's content in React content. And that for a long time has been a thing people are critical of. But then you recognize, oh, well, you can go to some classic media theory. The what is the word? The content of a medium, or a medium is always about a previous medium. This is like a thing that Marshall McLuhan theorizes, where TV is about radio. Radio was about books. Live streaming is about TV. Everything is taking something from the previous medium and distilling some continuous thread that has gone through the entire thing. Now, some people call it storytelling, some people would call it entertainment. Arguably, it has been just, there are multiple threads probably, but there is something that connects books to VTubers, and something is lost in some stuff, or something is carried along the path.
Okay, wait. So
VTubing, by the fact that it is doing everything that live streaming does, but then is also letting go of a bunch of other stuff and is introducing these corporate interests, and yet still the businesses let people do it. They have no ban on it. They're actually openly inviting it. It almost looks like the structural foundations for something like Amazon, like allowing people to just stream on this site free of charge might come undone by the fact that it is lining another company's pockets with money and not actually becoming the thing that Amazon needs Twitch to be to keep funding it. That's the issue. And I'm not even saying that I have a critique of it. That's what I'm shocked that live streaming platforms haven't like sort of made a hard stance against VTubing, because it's just like they're kind of relying on it probably for a certain viewer base sticking around, but it's also probably going to break their business model over time. But we don't have to go into those fine details.
Okay. I mean, that was my question. Go ahead and answer, like, or see what Leonard has said to your.
Leonard, you got
which is a different. Yeah.
Your summary of Iron Mouse is pretty spot on. She collabs a lot. People like her for her art and music. Didn't know that. Okay, I'm thinking like Lily Pichu, but VTuber, where it's a person who is like doing creative stuff but also collabs a lot, and that's how most people. And there's a tension there. So, and her life story, which is apparently inspiring. When VTubers first came to the West, we changed it a lot because we don't have idol culture the same way in the West. So we had to just turn VTubers into basically reality TV characters that people get invested into. Okay, interesting concept here. All the big money orgs and stuff are in Japan. They're part of the idol culture machine. Okay, so this is a transition of an industry into a new medium point. Your point is, placed most simply, is there's a big difference between people who consume English-speaking VTubers and Japanese-speaking VTubers. And I think the criticisms of VTubing generally are usually only using tropes and themes from Japanese VTubing and idol culture. Okay, interesting. Lamp Boobs, this might be the only conversation happening on Twitch that isn't about anti-Semitism. This might be the only time. This might be the only time. Now, we can try really hard.
We did that yesterday. We did that yesterday. We did that yesterday.
Really
no, Lamp Boobs, no, what have you done? Lamp Boobs, no.
I'm joking around. But I'm just saying, these VTuber companies founded in Japan. Let's go ahead and check.
Oh no! Fucking Tuna, shut the fuck up. Get back to it.
Where'd they get their money from?
Oh my god, stop. Oh no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, okay, this is what I know about K-pop and J-pop fans, is that they are put into a weird position where many of them, at least the Western, at least the ones that live inside of countries that are either Western or are in trade agreements with Western, or in strong trade relationships with Western countries, places like Japan, less so certain other places. We won't go into whether or not Russia does seem to have a huge obsession with VTubers as well, even though that's a separate burgeoning thing. Anyway, so this is an extremely capitalist industry where almost all of the fans seemingly identify as anti-capitalist. And I don't understand.
Do they?
How K-pop fans are pretty massively woke.
That's K-pop, though.
I don't know whether or not that
translates
over. So that's why I was asking.
Yeah.
There seems to be a huge overlap when it comes to Western fans of Asian culture tend to be left-leaning, with some exceptions, but that's also just because of the universality of anime inside of internet culture means that everybody on the internet likes Asian culture in general and Japanese culture especially, but more than anything, the more internet you are, which is going to get your far right and your far left, but the middling fans, the non-super political ones, they tend to be left-leaning. They tend to be anti-corporate. They don't like these companies. And yet, there doesn't seem to be nearly as much criticism of the way that these systems work to begin with. People seem to be extremely excited to consume a person who is on a contract with a company that is worth millions, if not billions of dollars, constantly like boxing and like slowly transforming this thing that is supposed to be about, artisanal small batch broadcasting and slowly turning it into this thing that is like, has all this corporate interest inside of it. I've been weirded out by that.
Okay, hold on. Actually, I was typing this out, but Sophie,
K-pop
so
and J-pop
tuna.
are very different. Are
Oh,
the
hold on.
is
Tuna,
the
tuna, tuna.
culture
Wait,
of
wait,
the
wait,
fans
wait, wait,
different?
wait. Real quick, real quick, real quick. Tuna Chip, who is in
Go for it.
voice, is talking to Leonard is waiting, who is in chat, because Leonard is waiting cannot actually join the VC currently.
Say it again.
Oh, I was talking to. Wait, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you. Apparently, you're super loud, but
Well,
that's on their end, not on my
I
end. I have
can
control over your volume.
I no, I just turned you up a bit.
Okay, you're good.
So okay, go ahead. Yeah, Talos is Talos is there now. Go ahead. He's probably gonna think I'm gonna chase him away now and leave.
Hey, tell
Leave
us.
those plants
Leave those
alone.
plants alone. How can you eat your plants when you haven't even had your kibble?
Oh no!
There's some like fucking
Flashbacks.
18-year-olds in this in this chat right now who are like, how old
Leonard.
is Tuna? What the fuck? Anyway,
Who
Leonard,
is
getting
this
back to
Leonard
it. Okay.
fella? Friend of the stream. Leonard is waiting. Old friend of the stream.
Okay, so Leonard, whenever you get time, I do want to know, what is your synopsis on the politics of the people inside of that space? Because for a really long time, I sort of assumed, maybe incorrectly, that just like Western fans of any other Asian culture, these people were pretty like anti-corporate, and they are like supporting something that they probably otherwise would criticize people for supporting if it wasn't their pet thing. Is that crazy? Am I out of touch here? Or is it, I mean, it might just be many such cases where everybody makes their own exceptions to their moral rules, their consumption rules. They love rainbow capitalism. Am I asking about the Western JPO? I'm talking about the Western English audience.
I need to clean up this shit. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
You don't think these fans have that strong of a investment in politics? Well, maybe Saphiric, but I just feel like the more online you are, the more likely you are to be into these things, the more likely you are to have been pushed into having an opinion on something that eventually, because this is how
No,
people become
I
quote
would say
unquote political online. They
yeah.
don't become political because they started out political. They become political because that seems to be the wild card that wins social battles on the internet, because
No.
it feels more mutable, it feels more guiltable, it creates
No.
these
You
connections.
you no, you're actually more you're better off like from a capitalist perspective, you are better off being vague about your politics because then you get the most people. Like that's just how it
Oh, I'm
is.
talking about
If
the
you
fans.
stay
I'm not talking about the performers.
no, same. The poor. The fans, sure, but like that's the thing is that as a fan, you might not if you watch somebody who doesn't ever explicitly state their politics, but that you generally can kind of feel that they're on the same vibe as you, and that's like all that you're getting, and they never really discuss politics at all. Then that's you're happy to stay that way because for you the stream is just about like vibes and shit. So you don't have to think about like anything deeper than that. Unless of course something comes up where their politics is brought into the light and then you have to confront it. And then at that point that's when you as a fan have to decide whether like is their political value like opposite to yours or you have to decide like how much that even matters if it is.
To clarify a couple of things, Young, I'm not saying that you can disagree, but I do think that it is correct that online you are meant to have a persona that meets ends. And for Asman, politics is meeting ends. but I don't think that it would meet ends for VTubers nearly as well. There's a niche where it could work, but not really. Asmon has a momentum about him, right? A momentum where he is big enough that he exists inside of a pool of people who are typically of a different politic than him, so he becomes an alternative to it. Almost everybody who is Asmon's size has a left-leaning politic because, well, they're an entertainer, they're on the internet, they have every reason to hold a politics that is relatively liberal. They're like doing well economically. Asmon has every reason to be liberal as well, and he hangs out with a bunch of people. And I wouldn't even be shocked if Asmon's opinions outside of when he does the performance of now being a politically minded entertainer is actually way more liberal than he lets on. Just because I don't think there's really any reason for a person in his position who lives in squalor, doesn't spend his money, he's relatively secure, unless he's been radicalized and he genuinely is an ideologue. I would imagine that, Asmund, he's saying what he can say because that's like his job now. And that's strange enough, but I think it's not for the money for him either. It's like just to have a niche and to like have a legacy. I think that that's what it comes down to for somebody like him. I don't think that you're getting that with a VTuber. VTubers are, that's not, they've already got legacy on lock. They've already got a niche on lock because every VTuber kind of like retires de facto eventually because either they have a contract. I could be wrong. But it seems like it's way harder to keep a VTube career going for a long period of time than a live streamer. I don't know what the reason is. If it's only the contracts, but the recycle rate is way higher for them.
Okay, also real quick interlude here. I meant to put this plant into soil, but I'm like, there's not that many roots on this thing, and I'm actually seeing a black root over here, which is not great. So I'm not gonna put this in soil. I'm gonna actually put this in into a bigger cup with like either moss or the coca core. So like, this is an example of like, I would not want to put this in soil. Like, this would probably rot if it was put into soil because it doesn't have very many secondary roots.
But not in a different setting.
What's that?
Why would it rot in soil but not in a different setting?
It's not that it'll rot. Okay, so if I put it into moss, moss is just going to be more I'm blanking on the word. It's not hypoallergenic. It's rot, like moss is rot resistant naturally, and so is so are things like coca core. But also, I'll be able to pull this out of the coca core or the moss in like a week to check on it. And with soil, you don't really want to do that. Like, you can't see what's going on because it's soil.
Why are we a motherfucker planet? Oh wait, what?
Oh my god. Who was that?
That was. Doesn't matter.
Okay. It was probably Parse. So, but basically, like, yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, you're saying that you have to transfer that one to a different environment because if you put it in dirt, it would just rot. You need something that is more aerated.
Yes.
That's easy enough.
Yeah.
Leonard, gun to your head. What do you think the end of VTubing is going to look like? Where do you think we're heading? Because we have the first thing I've seen so far, the big developments are people who are doing full body suits with like tracking. A lot of people, anybody who sticks in VTubing for a long period of time and has the like finances seems to like up the ante. Are we getting into an arms race where people are going to be making more and more expensive models? Or do you think that the end game of VTubing is this stuff like PNG tubers, just like really free, easy as shit, everyone's just doing it? What do you think the end game is?
I don't know if there is an end game. Also, I wouldn't agree that it always gets more complicated.
Oh,
Because
I'm
okay,
talking
so
about
for
behind the scenes. Wait, really?
yeah, no, behind the scenes. Yeah, even behind the scenes. Like for
But they're
example,
they
like
keep
look at
buying new. They keep like adding to the program. So like
yeah.
okay. There's
Hold
the
on,
one.
real quick,
Okay,
real quick.
go
The
for it.
reason I say that is because okay, have you ever seen Chibi Doki?
Chibi Doki.
Yes, Chibi Doki.
It's just two Japanese words. Let me search it. And I mean like
It's
the
all
two
it's all
most
in one.
Japanese.
It's all one word. Look up like Chibi
You know
Doki.
what I'm saying. You know what I'm
Chibi
saying.
Doki.
It's a merger.
Wait. The reason I'm bringing up Chibi Doki is because
I've
Chibi
Googled
Doki.
it. I have it pulled
Okay.
up. She's like cross-eyed, or she's
Yes.
not. What's the opposite of cross-eyed?
No, wall-eyed. I think she's
Wall-eyed.
cross-eyed.
Well, no, it's actually a secret third thing. She has an eye poking down and to the left, and then one
A
poking up.
lazy
She has
eye.
this the laziest eye you've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, Chibi Doki, and that model is like it's like a 2D model. Um, and she
Yes, seems to
yes,
be.
and I always had previously assumed that that was her model, but no, she's had like many different models over the past, at least from what I've seen, and some of those models have been 3D in the past. It's just
There's
that
been
right
two or
now
three here.
this is what her current look is, and I guess it has been for a little while. Maybe Leonard can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not always that it gets more complicated. Is my point.
Um, well, it depends on what your definition is, but I'm not even saying necessarily that a person is going harder, 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 harder. I'm saying that the technologies that define the upper crust or the upper echelon, the highest threshold, because this is it. Leonard's saying that there's a ceiling and that there's a divergent trend, and there's some people that are doing the low access, and there's some people that are doing the high tech stuff. I'm asking about the high end. I'm not. I understand. Just like anything else, even back when people started making, the same thing's happening with AI. The same thing has happened with video games. Just because people are making quadruple A, GTA 6 is going to actually, you can play it with your penis now. Just because that is a thing doesn't mean that people won't be making like fucking Succubon box pushing games with 2 pixels inside of a terrible engine that runs on like a fridge screen. I'm saying that upper end, that like the ones that are being paid for by companies, where do you think that is going? And it seems like he thinks that it has a ceiling. And that's probably right. There probably is a point at which, because if I think about these people, if I think about this industry working the same way that pop stars do, or did in the West and probably still do in Japan, where it's like, okay, get them while they're young, have them do their good 5 to 10 years, and then toss them to the wayside, maybe even less, depending. Although VTubers, I think it might be a little bit longer because crow's feet won't put you out of commission in the same way. Um, if it's going to go in that direction, then it does seem as if the ceiling would be produced by the economic incentive to not put too much time into a single model because you know that you're going to have to make the next one as soon as you're done. Even if the wireframing is the same, even the program that you use to develop on is the same, you can only spend so much time on a single animation. You can only spend so much time. And also, with HoloLive, you've got a new free-to-play China spyware video game to make. So you're probably sharing developers with that team, like when it's a big company like that. So I can see that there's a ceiling on that. Maybe that's the obvious one. People just love getting new models. Costs them so much money though. Is nobody critical of this? Maybe I'm just becoming weird and pushing my own values because I see something parallel with my values in live streaming at all. To only then see it like kind of invert in this way has always kind of taken me off guard. How many models has Iron Mouse had? Well, yeah, of course the performers. Because if the model is like, does Iron Mouse make her models?
No,
I
she's
assume not.
commissioned them.
I imagine she has
Obviously,
a
we should.
team, or there is a team, whether or not she has it or she contracts. How many models has Iron Mouse had? I'm going to VTuberpedia.
Wait. Do people
Iron
ever
Mouse
riot
model
over
name.
new models? I
Animated
imagine
website.
so, Chole.
Oh God. There are some in here that I should be on multiple lists right now, just because it's not just giving the names. Oh my God, we got to the ones where they're like 2 feet tall. Okay, we're leaving. There was one that was a Redditor, so I get that also. There is something obviously to the quirk of the thing, and I've made art long enough to know that you do it because you like doing it, and then if you get something out of the excess of that, then good on you, and maybe it'll move your hand in a certain direction, but it's not necessarily the prime directive for any, if especially not every artist.
VTuber
She has almost
hipsters.
100. Yeah, makes about sense. VTuber hipsters. Listen, I'm not a VTuber guy, but this is the thing,
Well,
is that
no. Yeah.
Leonard is, and Leonard has the certain personality that I would expect that everything that VTubing seems to be would be to the opposite end. Because I thought that VTuber guys, okay, so I know a couple of people that are VTuber guys, not personally, but I know them through content. I know that the librarian, the guy that makes all of the edited versions of Northern Lions videos, is a VTuber guy. Now I know Leonard. Those are two very different people. Leonard's like a grown-ass adult. So that threw me
As
because
opposed
I
to,
thought, okay,
as opposed to
this is
not
just
a
this young
grown-ass
guy
adult. Like, do you not perceive
How
them as
old is
adults?
Leonard?
I guess. Wait, no, hold on. Do you not perceive them as the other people as adults?
The people who I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
That I know who are into VTubers? None
Yeah.
of the ones that I know are adults, no.
I see.
Yeah, he's a fauna simp, Leonard, yeah. He's a fauna simp. No, they're mostly high school and or early college shut-ins. They're not people who like have a job.
I don't know enough about
He's probably older than you. Leonard, how old are you? You sound 30 to 36.
grown titty adults.
That being said, I do think I have my bias, which is that you have an accent that I always think, well, that's like got to be like a 36-year-old guy. 31? You think the librarian, he's in college. When he says that he has a wife and kids, that's a meme. We know for a fact he doesn't. Tona knows people who aren't adults. I'm reading one's comment right now, Sophie. Straight to jail. Me for reading your comment. Librarian runs a YouTube channel for NL. He's got to be in his mid-30s. No. That's the thing. Unofficially ran, and the dude, if you watched his video about how he edits those videos, he has the exact type of computer literacy that you would expect of a person in their mid-20s. Not like, or specifically the matchup of his computer literacy with his employment is such that you would assume that he's in his mid-20s, because anybody who's like a video editor and going to college at the same time and in your 30s, I'm sorry, you've got too many doctor's appointments. Just kidding, I don't go to the doctor. Do you go to the doctor, Beans?
Depends. What kind of doctor you talk about?
I guess you're a woman, so there is a more common
Why would I do
regular.
this?
Why would you do
Sorry.
this?
I
Sorry,
caught
it's okay.
myself. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously men have the later in life get fingered in the butthole by a stranger thing that's our. But I feel like women in their 30s, it's like a pretty big deal, like the fear of cervical cancer, right? So
Sure. I mean, I probably go to the doctor more often than some people, maybe, because I actually did have cancer, but that's
was
you
it
know,
was it cervical?
it was not cervical.
Okay. My condolences nonetheless. It's not like it's the only
No, you're
but
fine.
it seems like it's the
I
entrance.
don't have cancer anymore, so you are good.
No, let's go, chat. You're no longer allowed to call her bald.
I do still use the cancer card though sometimes.
The cancer card?
Yeah, cancer card.
Does it get you to like the front of the line at
No, no,
Six
nothing so
Flags
crazy.
or something?
No, it's nothing so crazy as that. I'll joke around people if I don't like them smoking. If I don't want them smoking, I'll tell them that I don't want second cancer. That usually gets people stuck.
Holy. Cancer 2, electric boogaloo or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine Beans in the
Is it?
line next to a person crying. In the line to the cancer thing, someone's crying and like freaking out, and she looks over and she's like, "First time?"
Yeah. Yeah, the
Holy.
first. um. Argy, are you talking about that insult that Dutch people have where it's basically like get cancer? That's apparently a
I was gonna
very
say the only K word I know is the
it's oh no 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 don't say it. He cut out. What happened? Stop. Where'd he go?
the number you have called has been disconnected by the Messiah.
There are lots of ways to use the word. No, no, you know what I'm talking about? I don't know how you say it in Dutch, but it's basically get cancer. I beat
Get
my cancer.
cancer is
Did you? Get good.
such
I
a
know.
good insult, bro. Get cancer? Holy dude.
Yeah, apparently it's. I don't know. I need to confirm with the Dutch person that it is actually, in fact, very insulting
I
to
mean, I would
use it in
assume.
that way. Well, yeah, but
I
like
would
if you
assume.
say get cancer here, I don't know that it would really like have the same effect as it apparently does in Dutch. Again, usually it's just used as an alternative fuck, but you could say get cancer, but you use other diseases. Okay, I guess my question is, Ergi, is it as insulting as I've like uh, is it like more insulting than get fucked, you know, or fuck you? Like, is it more insulting
Get
than that?
cancer is so much more insulting than fuck you, even in English. Are you crazy?
Yeah, but I still don't know that. Like, you don't.
You
It's
have
not even
survivor's
okay. But
bias.
okay, no, no. But like, but it's not something that I've ever heard. That's my point. If somebody
Survivor's
brought it out,
bias.
of course.
That's all that
What's that?
is.
Survivor's bias. That's
That's
survivor's
clearly your survivor's privilege.
bias.
Here we insulting that again.
If someone told me to get cancer, I would throw it down on God. No, no. Don't get me wrong. I think that it is very insulting. I'm just saying that, like, have you ever heard somebody use that as a insult? Like ever? We've just never we just don't have that in our, not yet anyway. Lots of people get upset to use cancer as a swear word, not even as an insult. Oh, I see. Okay, that's interesting.
Did I already tell you about the time when I was a kid when my dad said a slur and we lived with my grandparents and my grandma got mad at him because he was swearing inside the house?
No.
God, it's
No.
oh my God. I love a Caucasoid moment like that. Oh my God. I was
Okay.
feeling wafer like Nilla. I loved that moment. That was so funny, bro.
I think I wrote that in an email to a Trump-inspired party because they decided to SMS you. Oh my gosh. That's amazing, Joe. Did you get a response? Did you get a? You have been removed from our list. W Chodle. True. W Chodle. I'm going to.
I wish that when you send a text, you could pack the Australian accent into the text. Imagine somebody at the
I mean, just
Trump
call them a
propaganda office
cunt.
text back.
No, just call them a
Can't
cunt.
say you cunt.
Yeah, exactly. You might just. I think
Can't say you dirty cunt. Fuck.
They still use SMS in Australia? Wait, do they not use SMS in the Netherlands?
All right, we use SMS. Only thing they're using in the Netherlands is SRS.
What the fuck? Oh no.
What is SRS again? I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't actually know what SRS is.
Technical reassignment surgery. It means
Oh.
training out. Okay.
Oh, okay.
There we go. I was like, I know there's a joke there. I just cannot remember what SRS stands for. Apparently unsolicited,
Christ.
no reply text are legal for political parties. Jesus. When you invert your pee-pee, holy. We calling it Gurgi now.
Gurgi.
Does anybody have you not you, although you could answer in the invert.
Okay.
Have you ever done the just tried to shove it up there?
Oh, the tucking?
Versus have you tried to prolapse your vagina?
I have never tried that. I can tell you that right now. That's never been a passing thought in my mind, even.
It's so funny when you're a kid
When
and
is
you're like,
wait, when is
get,
the
you can
oh,
you
sorry,
just
go
pack
ahead.
it all in so that you look so that's one big bulb.
I have a very tuna question, and I want Tuna to answer it. Go ahead.
Go for it, Lenny.
Lenny! Oh no. I bet Leonard hates being called Lenny. Just a wild guess. Hey, Aeon. Aeon, you missed all the plant shit. You missed most of the plant shit. Also, Dr. Man, this is the plant rehab. We've been rehabbing plants, okay? What do you think? Look at all this fucking, like, this. I'm gonna go throw all of this in water and see what revives. And then from there, I'm gonna decide what to do with it. These are cuttings that I chopped up. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it might be the aspect ratio. It might be the fact that you're not full screen for me right now. But if you showed me what I'm looking at right now without the plants in the background, I'd be like, oh, these are the trays over at Panda Express. That's some lo mein noodles. That's some nasty, dirty rice. This is just fucking... It looks like the nastiest fried, rotten food. Doesn't even look like I don't think I have ever seen moss on its own before. So it does not look human, or I should say, it does not look earthly to me. Anyway, moving on. Tuna, do you think that vor is for the male gaze in the same way that pregnancy is for the female gaze?
Hey, girl, Lily.
Now, when you say pregnancy here, do you mean pregnancy-themed pornography? Or do you just mean pregnancy, period? The act of being pregnant? Because obviously vor is, I think typically, any depiction of being consumed, but it's specifically called vor because a person sees it and is like, wow, I would love to be inside of a giant woman's stomach.
Well, Eon, what you missed, by the way, you missed. I mean, okay, I'll say that this started as a wholesome plant stream where I watered my plants, I fertilized most of them. All of those plants that are up there are like, they've been like, they were basically cuttings or various other things, and now they're in their own pots. I'm some cuttings that I'm gonna put back into soil because they have kind of decent roots. This one does at least. And then at some point, Tuna came in and we started talking about degenerate shit, as we inevitably end up doing.
Be careful. Leonard's gonna unsubscribe after hearing you describe his pet project as degenerate.
Oh, I wasn't calling him degenerate. Sorry, I just want to be clarified.
Just the things that he does.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. Boy, there's only one degenerate in this call.
I think it's you. Straight
It
up.
is not me.
If I had to make a choice between me and you at who is more degenerate, I think it would be you.
Okay, but who's being more degenerate in this call?
In this call? Ma'am, you're platforming me.
Sir, do you remember the question you asked me less than 3 minutes ago?
Oh, well, yeah, but there's nothing degenerate
Oh,
about
it's not.
playing with your genitalia.
Hold on. Tucking is a complete and utter world away from a vaginal prolapse. What do you mean?
Yeah, but okay.
What do you mean?
What is okay? Be real with me. Be real with
Okay.
me. Be real with me.
I'm being real with
Okay.
you.
In the same way that, okay, guys, men in the audience, you can affirm, give me ones in chat. Have you ever, like, pulled your ball sack over your flaccid penis and made it into a big orb before? What is the female equivalent of that type of behavior? Ones in chat. If you've ever done anything, either done that or done something equivalent, literally ever in your life as something just to
Be
pass the
real
time.
with 2 nice beans.
Like girls, like I don't know, they shake their boobs around.
I'm crying. What's happening?
Yes, I've been orbing Leonard so many times. Bro, when did Buffalo Bill start doing focus groups? Listen, I don't.
Oh god.
That's a wild assertion.
Oh my god. Also, welcome
Well,
in,
that's
Red
because you don't have
Radius.
enough sack to stretch over.
I think we actually have an emote to that effect, by the way, just so you might want to check, maybe.
No. You take the scrotum. No, it's very easy. You take the scrotum, you pull it forward, and then you push it, and you wrap your penis inside of it. Or have you ever tried to take your penis and tie it in a knot?
Do your balls hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? No.
You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. Have you? Do you
Stupid
just
dork.
like? You're like, sorry. That's the sacred zone that I have trauma around. Just play with it in a non-sexual way. Just like literally, just you have access to like a crazy okay.
What is
The whole
happening?
point is, it doesn't matter what the thing you do is that there's a very specific type of physical activity that people do with their genitals or their breasts. I think that women probably do it more with their breasts than their vagina, just because it is the wobbly external organ. Where you just do stupid shit with it. Tie it in a knot. How long is your penis? I didn't say I was successful.
No, I
but
don't think you meant.
close
Wait,
to tying your penis in a knot. It's not that hard.
wait. Penis. I thought you were talking about your balls. What the hell is going on?
Well, there's definitely take the penis and wrap the penis around the ball sack so that the brain is encased in sort of like a ring of cock meat. That's like a thing too. There's all kinds of things like that. There's all kinds of stupid little games. Just like when you're in the shower and you like fucking like collect the water on your chest and then you let go of it. It's the same type of activity.
I would say one of those is definitely very different than the other. Like fun little manipulations like that are not the same as attempting a inversion, a complete inversion, or you know, something to that nature. I feel. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, self-fuck is a thing. That's another thing, Chortle. People can put their
Yeah,
penis inside of their butthole.
But that is very extreme, I would say.
Well, yeah,
Like,
but that's the thing.
That's a very
I'm
extreme.
not
That's
even
very
saying-
extreme in terms of like. That's very extreme
To
in
me,
terms of like.
that one's the most extreme. That one's a massive leap. But what I'm saying is, because I'm talking about things that are not for sexual gratification. I'm talking about like things that you do with your body, specifically like just silly actions.
Hey, by the way, 666 main, welcome in. We are doing gardening with a side of degenerate conversation, so be warned.
It's really not that degenerate. It's really not that degenerate. Also, 666 main, I feel like, is going to be on my side. 666 main, tell me right now,
Oh my god.
have you ever done something silly with your genitals that was non-sexual that tested the limits of its pliance?
Good way to summarize that one, I think.
Exactly. This is what guys do. It's
No,
what women
no,
do
no, no.
too.
Hey, wait a second. Hold on a second. I'm not saying that that doesn't happen. I'm just saying that, like, this is a pretty major experimentation. No? Is it
I
just
think
me?
that prolapse is because it has a permanence to it. But I was asking you, and that's why I corrected afterwards. Is there anything equivalent that women do? What's
Okay,
the
okay,
one?
fair enough. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. You did ask that. You did ask that.
Yeah, because I will admit that prolapse requires lasting damage to the vagina to the point where it's probably not even. It's not, and it's also probably it's so much of a process. You would have to build up. It's like more like a piercing than it is like a silly little appendage game.
Sure. I don't know, actually. Maybe somebody else can sound off that. Probably just aren't interested in telling you how they poke it on there. No, none about tuna. I mean, yeah, but like, I don't know what would, I don't know how to describe what would be an equivalent, I guess. That's maybe my issue. Then just like idle playing with the general area.
Oh, I can imagine one right now, which would be putting one finger on the bottom, one finger on this is the labia. One finger
no.
on the bottom, one finger on the top, and then squishing it and then like pretending to talk.
Okay, alright, something like a, okay, cool.
Or I know a girl that what she
Oh
does is that
no, tuna. Okay, go ahead.
I know a girl who says that one of the things that she does is that she pulls her legs open and closed while just enough to make it like in like a wiggling way, not like just like oh do it and then do it, like it's like a sort of like an alternative. It's like a vaginal alternative to twerking where she can make it make like a
Hey,
little
fairy flow.
sound like a
Okay.
hey fairy.
Yeah, that's fair. I can see that. Welcome in, fairy.
You hate that, Leonard? What? You know du sens. Where's your zest for life? Leonard,
Sphinx.
as a chore, you need to watch the movie Wetlands and tell me whether or not you think it's cool or bad.
This gets its own little pot.
Wetlands is not a porno.
It's
Australian. Oh wait, it might. I think it's Australian. Now I think about it, it might not be. But anyway,
it's too small. It's too small to go into this pot, so I'm putting it in its own pot first, so it can build up more of a root system. Sorry, go ahead, Tuna. I'm just interrupting the
Oh no, you're
conversation
good.
with my garden.
It's a movie about a girl who. It's like a coming of age
Hey,
movie
Mumbles.
where a girl. Part of her character and part of the
And
things that she
Tessie.
does is that she's just like particularly um sexually courageous in a way that is like meant to gross you out.
I don't think, by the way, that I'm going to get to all of these. So we're going to do them next week. Because these guys are going to need some serious propping and chopping.
It's not a softcore porno. My God, if you watch the movie, the whole point of the thing is that the whole thing connects to a larger lesson that she has about the origins of that coping mechanism. But I think it'd be very funny if Leonard thinks that a woman like making her lips separate and close because she thinks the sound is funny. If he thinks that if he hates that, which is, I think, probably, albeit a rare activity, definitely far from gross. There's no like piss shit. Like I don't know, the girl in Wetlands. I think one of the opening scenes is she goes to a public stall and like rubs her vagina on the like a unisex stall, and she rubs her vagina up and down the rim of the toilet. You hate me describing it. Oh, okay. That's a little bit different. It just sounds wrong.
Also,
That's fair.
Okay, I typed this out, but I don't do organic composting, but I would like to at some point. I'd like to get one of those little like the little rolly composters. But I also realize that's probably going to be something that's like that's more of a like when I own a house kind of thing. You know what I mean? I do have a box of like all of this. Like all of this, I'm probably going to take it and go put it in my mom's compost pile because it's all organic. Most of it, I'm gonna obviously take out the shit that's not organic, but
Not the first organic load to be dumped in your mom's box.
wow. Oh my gosh, what is Chole saying?
Okay, cool.
Okay,
1. Find a position
oh my
where your
gosh.
cock has no place else to go but in. I've seen Al's SF pictures, and while I am able to penetrate to -3, I can't do it on my back. Hey. Start from a squat position with your knees spread and your feet flat on the floor. B.
Sorry, Cho. You got cut off there a bit, just a bit.
Which, by the way, is also the punishment for the thing you just described if you're in Saudi Arabia.
Just a bit, yeah.
Getting, quote, cut off just a bit. They figure out how deep you can penetrate, and they're
I
like,
don't know.
"We'll
I don't know if they. I
shorten you
honestly
that much."
don't know if they still. I don't know if they still do that. I know they've rolled back quite a lot of things.
Whatever happened. And they said only the West is falling. The rest has fallen. The rest has fallen.
One thing I want to try is utilizing companion planting in a hydroponics vertical. Oh. Well, I've never done that kind of thing before. If you try it, you should get into my Discord and show us how it works out for you.
True. It's true.
Because that would
Okay,
be really
anyway.
cool to find out. Yeah, go ahead.
Leonard, back to the VTubers.
Back to the important shit.
The VTubers. Let's get back on topic. Leonard, lay it out simple for me. What do you like about VTubers, and do you think that it is able to be captured inside of a normal performer on Twitch? Is there something unique to VTubers, or is it just that you're not biased against them and you're able to get something that just happens to be coming from a VTuber? Lay it on us. Because I'll tell you one thing. Number one, hate that voice. Not the only type of voice I hate, though. There are tons of people that if I watch them, there are tons of YouTubers. Oh my God. They start yapping, gun in the mouth, suddenly the words taste sweeter.
Mario and Luigi were finally alone. Even though they were brothers, and even though they were plumbers, they were still lovers. Mario opened up the front of his bathrobe, and Luigi pulled his foreskin over the tip of Mario's penis.
No.
They docked like...
Oh, thank fuck. It saved us. It saved us. It saved us from the rest of whatever that was.
I don't know about that. Could be 1 second, Beans.
Okay.
Mario and Luigi were finally alone.
Oh
Even
no.
though they
Oh,
were
no.
brothers and even though they were plumbers, they were still lovers. Mario opened up the front of his bathrobe, and Luigi pulled his foreskin over the tip of Mario's penis. They docked like lovers do. They docked like brothers do. They docked like plumbers do.
Oh no.
Okay, we're running a game show right now. First person to guess whose voice that was reconstructed out of gets a point. Chat, who can guess? We'll switch to another person's voice next.
You'll have
And
to
the
tell
point
me.
goes to Leonard. That was MLK. That was not FDR. Sorry. I think that the first person, tell me, Testy, right now, give it to me real. When you said FDR, did you mean MLK, but you just said FDR because it was the first three-letter name you... Is that where you came to that conclusion? Let me be clear. Actually, hold on. MLK Jr. Just to be clear. Just to be clear. Sounded nothing like MLK. Believe it or not, that was not the real man. Harvey Milk.
I don't
He
I
did
don't
have
know.
a certain
Hold on, who was that? Thanks so much for the
Chicago-ness
follow,
to
by
it,
the
was
way.
it not? Come again?
No, I was thanking 666 main for the follow. By the way, if you're lurking and this is somehow your kind of content, hit that follow button. Okay, this is the point where I water the outside bushes with the remainder of whatever's in here.
Tell me when you're ready for character number 2. Are we ready for character number 2?
I'm ready.
Here goes.
Mario and Luigi were finally alone. Even though they were brothers, and even though they were plumbers, they were still lovers. Mario opened up the front of his bathrobe, and Luigi pulled his foreskin over the tip of Mario's penis. They docked like lovers do. They docked like brothers do. They docked like plumbers do.
Whose voice was that? What are we thinking, chat? Generic white guy number 6? I'm sorry. That is... And it also was not my voice.
No, that wasn't your voice for sure.
That was not my voice.
But I don't
Bob
know whose
Marley?
voice.
I'm sorry. We could make a Bob Marley one, but I'm pretty sure... Kink, 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 kink. I'd have to put some reggaeton in the background. Jack Quaid, Hassan?
That was not Hassan.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, chat. I think that you've given up. Let me check YouTubers. American 2? No, sorry. That was Dan Henschel. Famous for many a bit, but probably the most famous one being what was it? Daddy Baby Want Boom Boom? What did he say?
What?
Hold on, let me find Dan Henschel, the guy who got banned off of TikTok because he made a TikTok outside of a high school where he made like a fake TikTok skit where he said that he was going to he pretended that he was a school shooter and was like tell the story of the time that he went to the game with a gun but he never took it out of the trunk and how that's made all the difference.
I have no idea what that is, who that is. Also, yes, I am
Really?
sweeping right now.
Holy. Okay. Well, we'll pull up that video in a second.
Pull out the sweeper emotes. Go ahead.
Pull out the sweeper. How about this one? You guys should be able to get this one.
Mario and Luigi were finally alone. Even though they were brothers, and even though they were plumbers, they were still lovers. Mario opened up the front of his bathrobe, and Luigi pulled his foreskin over the tip.
Yes, that was Nick Fuentes. Parska, congratulations. You get the points. You get
Good
the
job,
points. That is
Pars.
my Nick Fuentes AI.
It's pretty good,
Good
Nick
work.
Fuentes, actually.
Yeah, I thought so myself. I've got Wick TV in here. He's in the roster, and so am I, but that was not him. Okay, we got next one. Next one's up.
Mario and Luigi
Sorry.
were finally
Holy
alone.
shit!
Even though they were brothers, and even though they were plumbers, they were still lovers. Mario opened up the front of his bathrobe, and Luigi pulled his foreskin over the tip of Mario's penis. They docked like lovers do. They docked like brothers do. They docked like plumbers do.
I'll give you a hint. This is a character. It is not just an actor. No one's going to know the actor's name. And it is not Dracula. It is not Hannibal Lecter. It's also not Dracula. It's also not Dracula, the famous, probably top 8 love songs of all time. Viggo Mortensen?
No.
Mortensen? Viggo Mortensen.
The guy. Oh, is that who it is? Or is that
No,
a
I
guess?
don't. I'm just reading the name from chat. I don't know.
No,
Miss
that's
Mumbles, I'm sorry. I do not know who that is.
no, that's the guy. That's the guy who plays Aragorn in Lord of the Rings. In the Lord of the Rings movies.
Let's see. Dan Henschel, that guy's got some crazy YouTubes on video. He's the best. He's the GOAT. He is the absolute GOAT. The actor who plays Aragorn, let me check whether or not it's the actor who plays Aragorn. Let me just say that this is a very high profile, it's from a video game. That is the next hint part 2.
Oh.
It is not from a movie, it is from a video game. Aragorn? I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Have you watched the Lord of the Rings?
No.
Okay, that explains it.
Okay, so I shouldn't be looking at Aragon, which is a different movie. Aragorn.
No. Yeah, just look up Aragorn, Lord of the Rings.
By Christopher Paolini.
No.
Well, okay, then I'm giving up.
Are you
on
looking
it.
at
Okay. I'm just looking. I don't. That is Aragon. I'm sorry. I thought I typed
is it?
Aragorn. I don't know
Yeah, you
what
need.
either
Okay.
of these things is.
Okay, hold on. Wait. Tuna. It's A-R-A.
Who has watched? Who has? Be real with me. What percentage of you have watched Lord of the Rings? And then step 2. What percentage of you know the names of the characters?
Yes and yes. In my case.
2's in chat if you've not watched. 3's in chat if you've watched, but you don't think that you don't know who that is.
And 1 if you know both. And you watched
I know 2 characters. I know
Yeah.
Sam and Gandalf. Correct. Dr. Deman. Oh, I know the main character is Frodo. I know 3. Did I say Ganondorf?
You did not say Ganondorf, did you?
Did I? I think I did, apparently. People are saying Ganondorf in chat. Okay. Chat, that was, we'll move on to the next one. That was Margit the Fell Omen from Elden Ring.
Mario and Luigi were finally alone.
If that tickles anybody's brain. Okay, I got another voice.
Okay.
We'll keep with the same quote. This one is gonna be a bit of a stretch. I know that this one's not very good, so get ready for it though.
And Luigi were finally alone, even though they were brothers, and even though they were plumbers, they were still lovers. Mario opened up the front of his bathrobe, and Luigi pulled his foreskin over the tip of Mario's penis. They docked like lovers do. They like brothers do. They docked like plumbers do.
Ew.
That sounded crazy, dude. Who's Feener? Feener the Wiener? Is that some kind of character? They act like lovers do.
Do.
Holy. You wouldn't know him? Okay. I mean, yeah, I already know that. How would I not? How would I know who the fuck that is? Goofy? I got bad news.
That was not
Unfortunately,
Goofy.
it was not Goofy, but it did sound goofy. Goofy dwarf. Bro, we need to. Okay. How do you feel about this one? Who's King Cobra? If you
What do you
were
mean?
to replace.
Mhm.
You mean do Goofy? I would have to make. These are AI models that I train. I would have to. You want me to. Okay, yep. Send me 30 minutes of Goofy talking with no music playing in the background from the Goofy movie. If you can send me a supercut of only the father's voice from Goofy movie right now, I'll chuck it into the machine. I'll chuck it into the machine, and then it'll do the work. This is unfortunately unguessable. That is my very, very low quality Mario TTS that is made exclusively from clips of him saying, "Wah-ha! Okie dokie." This is exclusively from that. It does not have much material to work on. What are those two towers that look like they have some small pebbles inside them made from wire or metal? So that is
Are
an
you talking
effigy. That's an effigy from
about
New
those?
York City. These she has the third piece of the set coming in the mail right now in here. Let me just say
Is this a
it's
wait?
being
Is this a
sent
question that's
by air.
Matt Slice? If you're talking about these are moss poles. Well, I call them moss poles because that's what, if you wanted to buy them, that's what you would search for, is moss pole. But I make these out of like plastic fencing and coconut chips, and they're meant to give support to plants. And if you certain plants will attach to the moss pole and then get bigger and more mature leaves as a result.
Okay, next one's coming up.
Mario and Luigi were finally alone. Even though they were brothers and even though they were plumbers, they were still lovers.
Ooh.
Mario
Wait, this is Brianna Wu.
pulled his foreskin over the tip of Mario's penis. They docked like lovers do. They docked like brothers do. They docked like plumbers do.
And Dr. Demand was the first one to the gun. That was Jordan Peterson.
Oh shit, okay.
Good shot, Beans. Good shot, Beans. Although I should say that's probably maybe the most transphobic thing you've ever alleged in your life.
Probably. I'm just saying, I heard an inflection that was very Wu-like, to my credit.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. There's
Cancel
something
me.
there.
Also,
There is
also,
something. Like, you want to fucking cancel
also,
me?
Peterson, Mumbles was technically correct with the emote.
Peterson.
Peterson.
Wait, Mumbles. Oh, you sent an emote. Sorry, I didn't. I do not have the plugin, so I did not. Or I should say, I have a plugin,
We'll make an
so I did
exception
not
for
see
you.
the letters
Oh
JPP. I just saw. I'm looking at you through Chatterino, so I just didn't even recognize that was Peterson. So Mumbles, actually, no, you get it. You get it. So sorry. So sorry. The Dragon of Chaos. I'm dragging it across your face. Next one.
Finally alone, even though they were brothers and even though they were plumbers, they were still lovers. And Mario opened up the front of his bathrobe and Luigi pulled his foreskin over the tip of Mario's penis. They docked like lovers do. They docked like brothers do. They docked like plumbers do.
You know what? I'll give it to Dr. Demand. It is Dog Girl. Oh, woof. Oh, woof. You get the points. Yeah, erudite, but a weak one. Yep, that was. We're getting into the harder ones. I've purposely chosen the ones that are lower quality models for last. So this is where you're gonna have to step up your game. Next one is a bit of a gimme, but it sorts the real ones from the fake ones. So let's see if anybody can get this one.
Mario and Luigi were finally alone, even though they were brothers, and even though they were plumbers. They were still lovers. Mario opened up the front of his bathrobe, and Luigi pulled his foreskin over the tip of it. They docked like lovers do. They docked like brothers do. They docked like plumbers do.
Parks gets it. Parks, you got it. And yeah, this is 11 Labs. 11 Labs, honestly, if I get the time, I have a stack of computers that I want to put a rubber band around and plug into a big, dangerous battery that probably could blow up half of New York. I have a bunch of dead laptops that I want to turn into a little array, because I know that you can do this without a service, and you can make your own AI model with some clunkers. But until then, yeah, I'm still using an off-the-shelf solution. Now, do you okay? Beans, tell
Also,
me the
just so.
truth.
Oh, go ahead.
Do you think that people have ever used portals to have sex?
Do you think that we've ever used portals?
Canonically, not in the real world.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Why wouldn't they? That would have probably been the second thing they did. As soon as they ascertained, make sure that their appendages wouldn't get cut off.
So they put a prisoner through the portal, and then they were like, "Oh, thank God, it's safe for my penis."
Yeah, probably.
Can you prolapse a portal? You see, these are the questions.
These are the questions. These are the full circles. These are the full circle questions we are here for.
Is that how they fuck their own butthole, Ergie? Just because you're working with a stubble, a little flat boy. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm sure it's like a dog's. I'm sure you. I'm sure it's
No,
got
stop, Tuna.
Ergie's red rocket.
Holy.
Pink name chatters.
Please
always
stop.
have red rockets.
Okay, also, just to let you know, I am on the verge of wrapping up because I'm gonna have to get into the chores that require me to lift a bunch of things, and this is not that kind of ASMR stream.
Okay, well, hey, I want to check with you.
Yes.
What are you doing later today?
Probably D&D, and then getting ready for my week next week.
Sad. Okay. Well, actually, hold on. Haven't streamed in a really long time, but chat, you want to hang out?
You should stream. If you stream,
Yeah, I can go ahead and do a little
if you start stream, I'll raid out to you.
Yeah, let me go ahead and switch. Let me get my OBS together really quick, and y'all can just give me a little moment. Properties.
Yeah.
Pick the right mic, or die.
I can lurk while I work. True. Here, let's
lurk while I work. Okay, chat. I'm sure it's the most boring video game in the entire world, but we're gonna do the Braid remake. I bought myself the Braid remake because I've been wanting to try.
Oh, nice.
I never finished playing Braid a really long time ago, and I kind of want to go through some of like the most famous indie games, period, and finish the ones that I haven't. Advanced audio properties, motherfucker, go mono. Okay, really quick. Does anybody else have the really cheap Behringer Euphoria UM2? Why in the world, if it only has one mic input, does it default to only sending it to the left channel? This shit pisses me off. Pisses me off that I have to switch this shit to.
I cannot relate, unfortunately.
Here, while you do this, go ahead and talk to your chat. While I do this, go ahead and talk to your chat about the plants and everything, and then I'll send you a DM.
Okay, sounds good. See ya, Tuna. Bye. Oh my goodness. Okay, alright. How did we like that? I'm sorry, I guess I didn't talk much for the rest, well, the back half of that, but, okay. Where are we? June is always a good time. True. Can we have a deeper discussion about the plants and whatnot? What do you want to know? Actually, this is probably a good time if you had any actual questions about the plants. On the spire, what medium did you use? I use here, let me show you. So I don't know where you live, but the reason I say that is because it could be called something different where you are specifically. Let me just pull this up. So you could have something like this. You could search for like coconut husk chips. And basically I mean, it looks like this. It looks like that. It's basically like coconut husk chips. And sometimes you'll find them in bricks like this. That's how I found them. I just bought like a huge brick of this. And then if you like break it open and moisten it up, you get like a fuck ton of it. And it's a lot more cheap. It's a lot cheaper than buying orchid moss, which is orchid moss is like, okay, so this is what I buy, the Best Grow. So you could buy this, the Best Grow spag moss or whatever, but this is kind of expensive for what it is. So for that reason, I only buy this and use it like for propagating the plants. I don't buy this to use in the actual poles. Now, you could use lava rocks that you just mentioned. You could use lava rocks. I don't usually use lava rocks for moss poles just because you want something. Okay, so lava rocks are probably okay in a hydroponics setting, but that's like a different setup altogether. And what you're thinking about is you want something that the plant roots are going to grab onto. Hey Chip Chaser, welcome in. How are you doing? Growing illegal mushrooms, I know you are. Gardening stuff is a front. I just go to the woods for moss. Well, I don't know if it's that kind of moss though, lamp boobs. I think that kind of moss is different, you know? They'd retain moisture well. Yes, the clay balls are good, but I feel like you need a container for them. And I think what 666 main is asking about is like what's in the actual poles. Now you can do it, you can do a, you could do it where you, for example, have like a cup, right? Like I've done it before where I have like a takeout cup and then I put the pole in it and then fill the cup or whatever it is with water. Then you could probably use something like lava rocks or the leca balls, the clay balls. There's a bajillion kinds, you just have to know what you're looking for. Oh no, what is he, what's he doing? What's Cho doing? What's Cho doing? Well, mold can grow on anything. Oh, you're talking about mold. Yeah, sometimes it depends on your situation. You could have mold
Take
issues,
about
yeah.
5 dozen eggs, start putting them in a bowl, mix the fuck out of them, and what do you get? Peonies.
Amazing. Also, by the way, if anyone's lurking here and this is your kind of content, hit follow, okay? We generally do some kind of trad wife thing on Sundays. Do you prefer to use osmosis setup? Do you mean like hydroponic setup? Not really, no. Peony eyes, yeah, peony eyes. Oh my god, what a crazy time. What else? But yeah, now I'm gonna have to figure out once I finally get once I get done like figuring out all those little plants up there, I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna put on this shelf right here because it's gonna be empty. We work with shungite rocks. What's shungite rocks? I gotta look that up. I'm so sweaty. I need to go shower. Okay, let's see. Come on, don't do this to me. I'm actually looking fucking Shanghai rocks up. XD. But yes, like, subscribe, all that shit, okay? Okay, if you're not gonna subscribe, that's fine. But you know what you can do? What you can do is, you can subscribe to my YouTube. Oh my god, is it not gonna work? That's so rude. Hold on. That's so rude. I thought I set that up. Hold on. Hold on. Oh my god. Here. Go subscribe to my channel. All my VODs are gonna be up there. We're gonna get shorts up there. We're gonna get more video essays. So go watch my stuff, like, subscribe, do all that shit, okay? But yeah, I'm also really glad that this seemed to work. I don't think there were any weird issues apart from when that weird couple dudes revved their fucking engines. But you know, I don't think I can really control that. But yeah, next week, so next week we'll do our normal stream on Saturday. Sunday we'll probably do a cooking stream. You know how bamboo works. Here, you know what? Why don't I just look up like an osmosis setup for plants? Reverse osmosis or hydroponics? Kitty time? Okay, here, I will get the kitty. Oh, I see. Oh. I think this is way, from what I'm looking at, this seems a little bit more complicated than what I would do for my plants, you know? Because for me, normally, I have enough, I just have enough plants where I would just water them individually. And this is like an irrigation system almost. I probably could set up some kind of irrigation system. The problem is that, and here's the issue. The issue is that not all of these plants, need to be watered on the same schedule. So like the snake plants that I have, the Sansevieras, they don't need to be watered as often. Like I water them maybe every other week. But there are plants out there that need to be watered every week, for sure. So it's more of a, and it depends on the size of the pot, and it also depends on what they're in, you know? No, you're fine. You don't have to apologize. You don't have to apologize. But like, I think if I were growing lots of the same kind of plant that had more or less the same needs, then I would probably consider doing something like this. Or if I had everything in like some kind of greenhouse or whatever, then yeah. By the way, I'll stream the elections on Discord tomorrow. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, talking about drought resistance. Gotcha. Yeah, no, I can kind of understand that. Especially if I was growing some kind of crop, especially, or like veggies and stuff, then for sure I would probably consider something like that. Yes, join up if you're not in the Discord. Hold on, let me... oh, I'm sorry, buddy. Oh, right, kitty time. That's what I wanted. Hi, bud. Yeah. Could you hear the kitty? Meow. Go ahead. You were saying all these things earlier. Oops. He used to be so small. Remember when he would fit like on the, like, he would fit behind the monitor. Like, he would lay on the base of the monitor and he would fit on the base of the monitor. Talos knows its rights. Oh yeah, that tail. Yeah, he knows his rights. As soon as I put him down, he's gonna start meowing again. Just watch. No. Nobody. No. Do we want the Hermes? Let me go get Hermes. Since we're still waiting on Tuna. Hold on. Where are you? All right, let me go get Hermes. Oh, chat. Oh my god. He was very peacefully sitting. Oh, okay, calm down. Hey, chill. He was very peacefully sitting on top of all of our towels that I hadn't folded yet. But now they have cat hair on them. They've been blessed. So dignified with like the feet. The feet are always so dignified. He's not a little baby. He does want to be put down though. Okay. Alright. He wants to go outside. That's what he wants. Here, we'll switch it real quick. We'll switch it back to the, watch him going out there. He's gonna go check out all the shit. Hey, Jenny. The bacteria is wrong. Yo, where Tuna at? No idea. Also, okay, there are other fish that will work. Oh, wait, what about guppies, though? Oh, he's live. Okay. He did say he was live. All right, chat. Wait, oh, there he is. There he goes. He's smelling. He wants to know what's been happening out here. You can actually see a spot on his, do you see the light gray spot on his back? That's where, like, oh, I guess where some of the fur, like, was, you know how, like, in carpet, where you can kind of smooth it the opposite direction? Oh my god. Alright. Chat, this was very fun. Thank you for hanging out with me. We are gonna go right over to Tuna Chip, who was in here earlier. So go over and say hi. Okay. I think YouTube chat, oh my Christ. I love that the stupid dude decided to rev his engine again. Holy shit, dude. Alright. Okay. Have fun. I will see y'all soon. Oh my god. I am not gonna key his car. Or at least I'm not gonna admit to planning to do that on stream. Alright. Be good, everybody. Follow if you haven't. I'm almost at 700 followers. See ya later. Bye. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.